again. But I don't wanna be on my own. It always goes much better in my head, but the feelings end up wasted. So I'm sorry for breaking down when you said you got me. I'm used to being let down, but I'm hoping if I'm falling too fast, then you'll catch me. You'll catch me. So I'm sorry that you might have to see I'm not flawless. I promise that I'm facing my problems. If I'm falling too fast, will you catch me? Will you catch me before I crash? I'm so afraid that you'll run out of patience. Trust me, I know how it feels to be hopelessly waiting. Sometimes I don't know if I can even change, but I'm still trying. So I'm sorry that you might have to see I'm not flawless. I promise that I'm facing my problems. If I'm falling too fast, will you catch me? Will you catch me before I crash?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everybody's having a wonderful video today, boys. We got ourselves, hopefully, another beta build tonight, unless Blizzard is behind for some reason. Yo, this expansion is coming out in technically 3 weeks, but realistically 2 weeks with the early access. As early as it is, it actually is like 2 weeks at this point, honestly. Hi, all there, and welcome back. We got ourselves a better pre-patch, I think. Gear upgrades. Actually, we're talking about it on Discord earlier. So they are increasing the gear drops in War Within for Mythic Plus, which is good. We just don't really know what track it's going to be. The gear we were getting was higher item level, but for some reason it was on hero track rather than Mythic track. I am hoping it's still Mythic track. 15 days for early access, yes. So technically, if you're not doing early access, it is roughly like 3 weeks worth of wait, or closer to that. But yeah, if you're doing early access, it is like 15 days, basically 2 weeks. It's basically essentially here. Hi, Sally Breyer. Well, nope, we got it says Loic, we got it says what is it? Parubas. That's not over, bro. How you doing, my man? Yo, for once ever we do start coughing, isn't it, dude? What is the new tier list? What do you mean? Like new, what do you mean new tier list? Like a new tier list of where classes are? Douglas, we haven't got like the final tuning build. You know what? I think literally up until we have our first week of Heroic, where they're definitely going to do like a first tuning pass for Heroic, then we'll have a better idea. But like, I don't know, man. If you want to put classes that are looking really good, I mean, Death Knights, I feel like keep getting buffed. Frost in particular, again and again and again. So that should be on your list in the, let me get the music going. in like closer to the A tier bare minimum. I'd say Arcane Mage is still very, very good. Or just as a class of Mage, you could put him up there. Between Frost, Arcane, and Fire, like, it's all really solid. It's not like current version of Destro Warlocks who should be up there, but like, I don't know if that'll stick. I don't know if that'll stick. I didn't even move up like a sass, but even that was bugged. It's doing a bit too much damage. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, what's up, bro? Yeah, my foot is still giving me a lot of trouble. I'm basically can't put any weight on that thing at all, but I found a way to hobble around where I can move around a little bit more efficiently, but it's kind of like going from like a snail space to a turtle space. I'm still walking around very, very slowly. So I'm trying to almost like, all right, if I have to walk, let's get as much done while I'm up, but also try to do it as fast as I can. Otherwise, my foot starts giving me trouble. I am essentially useless unless I can sit down and work. That's all I've been doing at all. We got a bad PvP nerf last night. Who did? Mages or Death Knights? There's so much tuning. We'll see how it's going. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of tuning still happening. I do want to see if the ROMs are going to be up. Otherwise, we got pre-patch, I guess. Then we can do that while we're waiting. Keep buffing Fury. Are they buffing Fury? I don't even remember what was the last thing they did for Fury. I imagine it was probably buffs. I do know that with Fury, they keep like trying to nerf him in areas. Like they're uptime on recklessness, and they're like, uh-oh, the community doesn't like that. All right, we'll bring it back in. What if we reduce like this talent? Oh wait, you guys like that talent? Okay, we'll just buff it back up. It's like they're trying to find a way to nerf Fury, and then whatever they nerf, they get pushed back from the community and they buff it back up in the next build, and they try to like nerf something else, and then they have to buff it back up because people are not happy. I think at the end of the day, they're just gonna like say, F it, just buff everything about Fury. What's up, Bragg? Ahead of my man. Your towns get giga buff. They did kind of get nerfed from arms at parts, but yeah, for Fury, it's essentially like they just didn't touch him. Как вы дела? Здорово, Максим. Це нормально, все хорошо. Привет, брат. Здорово здесь. Здорово. What's up, Try Chat? Hey, my man. Hope you're having a good one. Has made it to the water. What's up, man? I did. I think they just got alien hits the Shaman so sad. Yo, yesterday playing some Elemental, I was actually just like growing depressed in my seat playing it. Because just a week ago, man, you were running around as Elemental, chucking meatballs everywhere, and doing fantastic damage. And now you have to play those like weird... Bro, let me just show you some of the cursed builds that the Shaman community is now trying to come up with to like find a way to make it playable. Look, hold on. I want to see if I can pull this up real quick. The Shaman community is going places, man. Look at this. It's essentially a cursed Farseer lava build that plays Earthshock, that plays Landing Elemental as a Farseer, which is a lava-based build. But then you go down this middle tree to pick up Stormkeeper and the Elemental that you get to summon. Essentially what you do is, you press this button to summon Grandpa, you press this button to summon Grandma, and then you spam lightning bolts as much as possible in this build. Essentially you're just using the Grandpa and Grandpa to put them out there, and you spam and chain lightning, and they'll also chain lightning. That's what players are having to do now. They're using Grandpa and Grandma to literally spam damage. It is wild. Notice how there's not even like a early blast into earthquake combos here at all. You have to like find ways to play around this elemental change. I don't like it, man. I feel like we're gonna have the most cursed versions of Elemental Shaman trying to make some damage happen, and it's like, I don't know if that's gonna be even enough. I want to see how much damage this thing does them. Frostfire Mage will go Mega Boom. It's going really, really good, man. Frostfire, I feel like Fire side of Frostfire gotten a little bit less good. But Frost is really, really good as Frostfire. I just don't like the Living Bomb changes they've done for Fire Mages recently. Not a big fan. Frostika gets around like Paladin now with the Rider. Exactly, dude, exactly. They yoinked it from them, and they're getting more value. Paladins, I feel like, have complained for multiple expansions like, dude, all we have is a NASCAR horse. I don't like it. Give us better mobility. And here's Death Knights who never had that before, and now they're just running wild with it. They're like, this is the best expansion ever. So you have Paladins who are just like, this horse is the worst mobility ability, but in the right hands, Death Knights are super, super happy with that. This tells you where they've been. Red Paladin bugged. I don't really know if Retribution Paladin is bugged. I assume a lot of classes are, but like keeping up with every single class list for all the different bugs, like if it was a spreadsheet where they combined all of them, that'd be nice, but not every Discord is keeping them up like as detailed, and some are much harder to find. Paladin is Discord with a lot of info, but I feel like they don't have it like nearly as like nicely laden out. Like going to Shaman Discord, Warrior Discord, Death Knight Discord, Demon Hunter not Demon Hunter, Rogue Discord, Monk Discord. I feel like they have a lot of the info. Even Priest Discord, really just everywhere. Where everything you need, it's like a couple of clicks away. Other Discords, you really have to scroll and look for info. You'll find it eventually, but it's not like pinned or anything like that. It's not as organized as some of the others, and I have no idea about Pallies. To drop by for Steve, hello, good night. Yes, thanks so much for coming by, Reeves. I appreciate your message from early, man. Hope you're doing good. If we gotta use Mac or summon ancestors too, I guess so. Yeah, you could do that as well. Every Discord, the world as brimming is burning as always. Yeah, every class Discord. Yeah, every single build, man. Every class Discord, like there's always gonna be something people to complain. But you know what? I appreciate the excitement and enthusiasm at the very least is what I call it. But yeah, every time you have, dude, I love watching like an entire class Discord going through like bouts of depression when like a class gets nerfed. It's like as soon as a class is bugged and it's doing too much damage or it's got buffed up, everybody's like, we're back. And then as soon as you get there, it's like, it's over. And it's just doom scrolling, dude. You can just scroll forever and never just read doom posts. It's so hilarious just how like bipolar it is. It's either like, oh my god, this is the best like update ever, or oh wow, class is absolutely dumpster, don't even play it, everybody's looking for a new alt now. It's so one way or another. What's up, Psycho? Yeah, beta's down for the moment. Beta's down. Apparently we should be getting a new build today. Doing great, wish you more amazing days. Appreciate you my bad. Have to dig through to get real info. So some Discords, yeah, you do have to like really dig through it. It really depends on how like they manage it. Like a lot of the people in Discords, they put in a lot of effort, a lot of work, theory crafting, all that, right? Great discussions, but some of them are like super giga hyper organized, while others are not as organized as others, right? Like if I want to find like all the popular builds for Elemental Shaman, they have a section where they have everything in pins and like discussions, and it's all separated, segmented in a specific area where you can get like the class guide writers info on the things. But then also like there's a bunch of other posts, like a bug post where the people are dropping in every single thing that is bugged. Whole list of like all the feedback on all the different bugs with the class organized. There's a build idea post section. There's a build compendium that compiles all of the builds available. An area where they compile all the patch notes, all the updates, little things, right? Every single detailed thing. While you go to like a Druid Discord and there's like nothing there at all. But if you want to read through like all the info, at some point like a class guide writer will write something, but it's not even pinned. So you really have to like really scroll to get like some of the info from people. And you can, and then you kind of have to like it's there. It's just not like organized and pinned and everything. So you have to really like look for it, right? So it's very different, as every class Discord does things differently. You know what I mean? I still think at the end of the day, the Rogue Discord is probably the best one. I like everything. Every time you're looking for any kind of info with the Rogue Discord, I've never had to do more than like two clicks away. I either check the pins, or they have the info like readily displayed somewhere in like a discussion section. It is so nice. But like some of the other ones do really good too. That's all. I just made my experience with it though. What you mean? Look, it's starting to look closer to being Rogue, unless they just like absolutely drop the ball. I think Rogue is starting to look more like a feasible class at this point. That being said, we still got bugs. Like there's some bug right now that's letting Assassination do some wacky things right now, but yeah, it looks like it is most likely going to be a Rogue. Part of it being like, has been my main for expansions, like that would be my ideal choice. Well, Rogues have been for the last couple of builds have been atrocious, but the damage buffs that we've seen have been significant enough where at the very least the class can like do decent damage. That being said, we still got issues, and there's some really easy fixes for them to solve out. Hopefully they could do that, because it's like they're really easy things, like remove the animation lock on the Trickster Capstone ability, remove the displacement thing of Killing Spree, right? Make it an animation, but let you control where your character goes, right? For Outlaw. And the thing for the most part, you're set. I would like to see more tuning when it comes to challenge, but like for the first season, we're relatively playing more or less the same. Same thing goes with Assassination, right? And Subtlety. But if they could do those things specifically, right, that would solve an issue for Outlaw and Subtlety at the same time, and then Subtlety basically plays the same way that it's been so far. Assassin still got a really good burst window with the Death Mark, and Outlaw still claps in AoE. And like, the hero specs themselves, like a lot of them are very passive and boring, but at this point, like I would like for them to be better, but I would essentially like a complete rework. I don't expect for them to do that now, but I'm not in a situation of like, oh, if I don't see a rework, there's no way I'm playing this class. Like, they're functional, they're doing okay, you know? Yeah. Unless I drop the ball on rogues completely, and then I have a backup at the very least. Wait, really? After all the bachelor rogues switch to that? They must have gotten a big rework. So they got big buffs, big damage buffs left and right. Like Outlaw actually did get a pretty decent change. Like, we're losing our tier set, where right now it basically allows us to play roll the bones, an RNG mechanic that a lot of people, especially a lot of newer rogues, really don't like, right? The core mechanic of Outlaw. Our tier set in Dragonflight allows us to take whatever buff we have when we reroll. We carry at least one buff into whatever next combination we have. So at the very bare minimum, you can have 2 buffs out at once. That resolves a lot of the issue of RNG. Are there going to be some better buffs? Sure. But like, at least you're not getting like a bad buff that you got to sit with for 45 seconds, right? And essentially they kind of solving that with a RNG talent where every time we ambush into strike or dispatch, we have a chance to roll a buff that lasts 8 seconds, one of the buffs we don't have, and that chance has been increased by like 50% from what it was. So like, you almost always have 2 buffs passively just through gameplay, just from pressing your buttons. So it kind of sort of recreates that build, more or less, and it makes the whole keep it rolling play style a little bit better if you don't like playing ambush. So like, we're essentially back. And then they also added us extra comp points for Between the Eyes, which improves our cooldown reduction churn so much. It's one of those back-end things where it's like, if you've been playing Outlaw but you haven't been following it closely, you're like, I don't really know, the spec looks worse. And it's like, well, actually, to a degree, yes, like the whole not having Shadow Dance kind of sucks, not gonna like, versus the Shadow Dance Vanish combo. But also, I like the fact that they give us an extra comp point on the Between the Eyes resets, because it just means better cooldown reduction churn, where we can get all the cooldowns back quicker. It just makes the spec feel fast-paced. It's nice. Thanks for great videos. Appreciate you, Jonas. Appreciate you. Is Eternal Flame back? As a talent with, what is it, Herald of the Sun? Yes. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, no. It's good. That was gonna be a main, kind of confused what changed. So probably Rogue, but like if I didn't go with Rogue, it would have been Death Knight or Mage. I think it would have been a Death Knight or a Mage. I've been liking those a lot. Like, Death Knights are a banger of a class. Like, it's so fun. I feel like you have a pretty fun pug experience with it. Plus, I like it wholly like Frost and Blood. I mean, it's always been a very, very fun tank spec to play out of all the tank specs. I'm like, just something I played for like expansion to expansion. I'm not a tank main, but like casually tanking or like doing stuff with the tanks. Spend a lot of time on Blood Deacon more than anything. Another good one would have been like Evoker or I think Evoker, like AUG Evokers probably should be everyone's like backup ult, right? Because everybody's gonna need an AUG. Unless like, yeah, it still feels like everybody's still playing AUG even in keys. So like a backup AUG should be at everyone's like table. Of course, like if I really just want to be like, you know what, I really want to play an agility melee, say no more, survival hunter. I don't think I would have an easy time getting a raid spot, but it still would be a very, very fun one to play in general. My favorite thing about Rogue is always the mobility. I hate the animation lock and trickster. That's, if they could solve it, it's fine. Like, it's literally perfectly okay. It is boring, sure, but it's fine. It'll be functional and perfectly okay for Outlaw too. It'll in fact be a better choice in AoE for Outlaw, even though they made Fatebound a lot better too. But yeah, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good, David. Hope you're doing good too. Yeah, so I'll give this about a minute here. Otherwise, we're gonna go do some pre-patch stuff. Probably I'm gonna play classes that are about to get nerfed, like LA Shaman, dude, because LA Shamans right now are still popping on live compared to pre-patch where they just got gutted, man. Oh no. Plus, I have my also open boxes on. I'm gonna give Hunter a try. I didn't know about BM, might be switching to survival. I'm not feeling BM for some reason. Give Marksmanship a try too. I think Marksman may not be that bad either. It won't be the most exciting one in terms of hero specs, but maybe pretty good. Survival definitely is a guarantee. Like it's a easy recommend at this point. Survival has got so many good changes, and it has like a nice profile where you can focus more on AoE, single target, dot base, cleave base. I think it's in a much better spot than where it was. It does great damage. It has great survivability. It's like very, very close to other melee classes because it has an immunity technically, right? It doesn't have cloak or nether form. What is it? Nether twist. Why am I drawing a blank? Demon Hunter, nether immunity. Chat, help me out here. Help. Let me find it real quick. Why am I drawing a blank on this one? I'm gonna be nether walk. Yeah, I'm gonna be kicking myself. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night and be like, God damn it, how can I remember Netherwalk? Yeah, Netherwalk. So like, they have an immunity that's very similar to those two classes. They have a great set of defenses that they can just kind of rotate through them. They also have a sub-dispel, which can be kind of nice in some situations, but I feel like defensively as a melee, they're very, very even with some of the other melee classes overall. Their profile is a lot better. It's fantastic for huge AoE situations, but can also go just fine for like smaller cleaves as well. Yeah, I'm good. Going on the sea waiting for XP after. Fair enough, man. Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, Hunter is an easy recommend to it. They're in a really, really good spot, man. They're in a really, really good spot. I like them a lot. Hunter, Warlock, Mage, Death Knight, Warrior, Monk, Evoker would be the classes that I think are easy. Death Knight, did I say Death Knight? Would be easy recommends because they got like a lot of attention. Classes that I'd be a little bit like Ife on would be Rogue normally. So even if you're planning on playing a Rogue main, definitely have an ult ready because that's what I'm going to be doing immediately. I'm going to be leveling an ult as soon as I get a Rogue up and running. Shaman I think is in a good spot for the most part now that Ellie and Hans and Resto all have a raid buff. And it doesn't look like they're really nerfing Resto too much unless I missed something. I assume Resto is okay. I know that Ellie's been in a little bit of weird spot after their recent nerfs, which maybe a good towel build and certain set of stats would help him out quite a bit, but who knows, man? Might have to go back to Tempest. Might have to go back to playing Tempest instead of Farseer, full Lightning Shaman instead of Lava Shamans, which would be really, really sad. Alrighty, so the realms are still down. What are we gonna do, chat? We're gonna switch over to the pre-patch. Hang out until beta realms are up and running. In fact, I could probably have both realms up, right? I could have beta and I could have live going at the same time, couldn't I? I'm gonna do that, actually. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna see if I can do that. So this should bring up live in a second. There we go. Chat. What class is the question? I want to get some keys out of the way. I guess I should do Shaman, just because this thing is about to be nerfed. Let's just do Shaman. And I need to also bring up the beta realms just to have them in the background in case they do come online. And you guys can tell me if it comes back up or not. And hopefully it'll be tracked in OBS in a second. There we go. Well, hold on. First, I'm gonna do one of these. There we go. Where should I put this, chat? Should I put it like above my head? Do you care to see the details and like the damage meters, or like? Where should I put the beta realms? I could make them small and put them like above my head or something. Or make them small and put them above the details. Possibly. Let me see. Warcraft the Shaman. Rogues and pre-patch are... I don't really want to kind of play rogues in a beta more than pre-patch because like after the buffs we've gotten, like we do underwhelming damage over on the pre-patch. I don't know. Actually, yeah. You know what? If you guys really want to see that after, then I'm down. I'll put this like that, right up against the wall. It's not quite good looking, but good enough. Let me know if the realms are all of a sudden online. Yeah. While I get some keys out of the way of this thing. I also should open up my vaults. Because I haven't like done any of my weekly stuff on these characters at all. Try to get whatever gear I can. But it's a good healer class going toward within. Want to get into more healing for this expansion? Ooh. That is a good question. Good class for healing. I think I want to do this. I would say a really good class for healing would be, in my opinion, I think a paladin is looking really good. Like actually really, really solid. They're getting to be a bit more bursty, a little bit more spot healy. I think Paladin is an excellent choice. From what I've seen on the beta so far, I've seen Resto Druids doing kind of okay, Resto Shamans doing okay, and Monks doing okay. It's really hard to tell. Also, Evokers, there's quite a bit of the Preservation Evokers running around. That being said, I think if you wanted to pick like a really safe choice when it comes to classes, as a healer, you'd want to do a healer that does something unique. A lot of healers have like throughput playstyle, where it's all about numby, like Mistweaver, Preservation Evoker, Resto Druid, Holy Priest. But then there's a handful of healers that have like a unique gameplay to it, like a Disc Priest or a Paladin. I think a Priest is because it has 2 specs is a good recommendation, because usually one of them is at least going to be solid. Especially if you're really good at playing Disc, that usually ends up being a very powerful choice in raids. Paladin got the unique AM and like a spot healing gameplay to it, but like the immunity is also really, really good. Another recommendation, I think a Druid, man. I feel like Druids have generally been like out and out good either in raids or in dungeons. Yeah, they're getting a lot of hybrid tools too, so I imagine their damage should be pretty competitive in dungeons. Holy Pally, yeah, Holy Pally is just so unique, which added new WoW mount achievements. Which they added new mount achievements? What do you mean new mount achievements? Which ones? Wait, which ones are we talking about? Let's think about between Paladin and Disc. Paladin is a good choice. I think you like Paladin a lot. I like what they've done with Paladin so far. I don't even know what item level, like what kind of key is gonna get into in this thing. I'll try like 4 to 7. See what I can fish. I don't think I have a score really. Not really. I'll just get into whatever I can. We're gonna get into some trouble, that's all. Bracket hide? Yo, give me that brag, dude. I want to do big AoE bracks. Big AoE bracket hide. What key do I have? If I have a brack of my own. Halls? I don't want to do halls. Yeah, I was gonna say if I have a brack of my own, dude, I'd love to do a brack. Algae Thar. This character is not geared whatsoever. Like, I still need like a lot of the worm crests. Just a bunch of worm crests. Just to upgrade the rest of my gear to like close to like top end heroic or mythic track. We can do like one more. Ring maybe? Filial duty? At this point, I'm just gotta think of like raw stats maybe. You know what I mean? Raw stats for the next expansion. Probably sounds like a good choice. I think I like Paladin a lot. They've really gotten quite a bit better to play. They're still kind of cooldown oriented, right? Planning your cooldowns around like M+, for example, or in raids is still like a pretty big aspect to the class, but your single target healing is really, really good. Like, not like having to play around Glimmer and just having a Holy Shock do a lot of healing that's more immediate. Hell, even a Holy Light is actually like getting casted as a Paladin, which is surprising because that ability is usually very meta intensive. But the amount of healing it's doing right now, it's like solid. Like surprisingly solid. Especially if you do like a big AoE healy setup. Like, it feels like as long... You don't need to combine as many cooldowns to keep everybody alive in Mythic Plus, especially when you're doing some of the higher keys. And that makes every single cooldown feel like more impactful on its own. This is the best way I could put it, I guess. But it's really good. It's like, I mean that in the best way possible, you know what I mean? Frostmage is really good too. I made another one since last one was 500. Oh, the achievement. Oh, that's what you mean. I'm sure they'll add one at some point. I feel like they'd be really, really cool because they got a lot of new models. I'm hoping if they do anything, one of those mounts, I'm hoping they'll do like one with a unique model, like something they haven't done before. Because I feel like all of them have just been like a kite from Pandaria. Then they had a like Legion one, which is like a fiery elemental, I think. Right? Or frosty one? I'm not sure, but it was like a big Gul'dan looking mount, I'm pretty sure. And they've done like the Otuk, the otter one from like Shadowlands. So hopefully they'll do like a unique one, right? I think that'd be really, really cool. Because they're adding a bunch of more mounts in the next expansion, so it makes sense for them to add one. Frost Ellie? That could work, man. Frost Ellie. There used to be kind of like a way to play Ellie is kind of like a frosty class, but like the only thing you got right now is Ice Fury. That's the only way right now that you can play this thing as like a frosty type of what is it? A frosty type of Shaman. Previously you would have like the Frost Shock, like cleave talent on your basic talents, but that's been gone for a while now. I think I'm gonna pick up like, I think I have a lot of haste already, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna pick up Versa. And hopefully the tank will be able to hold aggro. If not, I'm gonna get an Earth Elemental and pray. I mean, it's a 4, so like, it'll probably be okay. Frost Elemental off fire. Oh, that would have been cool actually. That would have been awesome if you could play Shaman as like a Frost Shaman with a Frost Elemental. That would be sick actually. Wait, that actually is such a good idea. Oh my god. Alright, we're doing big pull. We're doing big pull. I'm gonna pull him for him. Pull one extra for him. And we're gonna pull aggro. It's okay. It's okay. Just gonna pull this over here. And then just keep AoEing. Or single target AoEing. You got what I mean, right? We got elemental again. Okay. We got one of those currently. Wait, what am I trying to do? Here we go. I forgot what my buttons are for a second. Oh yeah, yeah, this thing is gone. This playstyle is completely gone, which is like tragic, like actually just so tragic. You can no longer play Shaman like this, running around, lava bursting everything, just melting the world. Can't do it on live or on what is it, on beta at all, which is so lame. It was so fun when you could. Look at this, man. This was so fun. That was fun. Like, they could have just kept it and like just tuned the numbers, but instead they like gutted the hell out of it. Yeah, yesterday it was just like kind of wild, man. I was a little sad, not gonna lie. I was a little sad. Although apparently the class, like, what is it? It was a rogue that was in the on our team that was trying to like compete with subtly. Yeah, apparently Rogue's got some shenanigans going on too. I wanted to hop on beta to show you guys exactly what I mean by that. But apparently Rogue's got shenanigans going on as well. So that's interesting. I was talking about the mount, but hey. Oh, the Frosty mount. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, streaming is hard. What is it? Actually, I heard somebody apparently have a take. They said like streaming is harder than having a real job. Don't you guys know streaming is much harder than having a real 9 to 5? Oh! Glass tuning on the beta. Hold on. Pally nerfs? Oh wait, no, it's like hotfixes. What the hell? What do you mean Pally nerfs? Oh, okay. They don't have like a proper blue post. They have like notes, like data mine notes, but not like a real blue post, chat. Not a real blue post, but apparently Pally nerfs. I am concerned. Holy Pally nerfs. Not for any of you red boys out there. Holy Pally nerfs. So maybe like you guys, because red Pally got nerfed too, like last week. I don't understand why. Like 10% across the board, except for like a handful of AoE abilities. It was nuts. It was nuts. LA raid buff now. It is live, yeah. LA raid buff is out right now. It's called Sky Fury. It's essentially Wind Fury, but for the entire raid or party. And it provides your allies also with 2% more mastery on top of it. I'll do a different song if you guys don't mind it. Rip Holy Pally. Dude, we were just talking about Holy Pallies too. So, you know, I said like, you know, Pally's an easy recommend. Maybe not anymore. I want to see what these nerfs are, but because I don't have the context or anything, but also just doing a million damage to like 8 targets is super fun. Why was this nerf? Blizzard. Why was this nerf? What did they do? My shamans. My shamans. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. Hold on. We're gonna do one of these. But yeah, apparently getting nerfed. He put me as a skull. He's like, yo, mark this guy. He was a menace. Right now? Yeah, apparently they got like a new one. It's a data mine post. So it's not like an official Blizzard thing or anything. But it's just data mine for now. Why am I marked? Is it just because of that? Because of that mechanic? Because I keep getting hit? Like, I know I'm dumb, man, but come on. Don't call me out like that. Don't call me out like that. Oh my god, my damage. Yeah, I did pretty bad there. After the first pull, I was like, okay. Now I'm trolling. But yeah, more hotfixes. These are just like tuning hotfixes, but beta runs are so down. Once you have an actual blue post chat, we'll take a look at it. And hopefully we'll get through this dungeon fairly quickly. I was about to ask actually, like, did we lost the first boss? Because I forget that I'm a shaman. You know what I mean? Dude, this druid is like, the whole time he's like, let's go! He's like, the entire time, like, let's go! Party chat. It's so exciting, man. This man's enthusiasm. Hope it never fades. Ever, ever, ever. Do we actually need to do the mechanic? We really need to. Technically not really, right? Technically not really. I got beat, man. That's embarrassing. Thoughts on Rogue pushing Mythics? Like on beta or on pre-patch? On pre-patch, like, some people that are pushing, but pre-patch, it's like, you know, it's, I think with pre-patch, Outlaw, Sub, and Assassin are all doing kind of okay. On the beta, though, our damage has recently improved, so it's gotten better. I can't really say with confidence that we are going to be maybe like the go-to class when it comes to pushing key content. Hard to tell, honestly. It's hard to tell. I want to say hopefully it will be good for it, just because there's quite a lot of opportunity for skips, like in both Shinra Sai as well as in like Necrotic Wake dungeons. So it's potentially like good opportunity for rogues to be brought in, just for the skip opportunity, but not necessarily either, because you could always the Night Elf. You know what I mean? Wait, did I run into Jelly before? I think I've actually ran the queue with this guy before. Now I'm thinking about it, I think his name is like kind of familiar. You know what? I think it is the same guy as before. Small world. Possibly small world. Let's just watch the stream. And then, hey, how you doing? Is that what Mark the Skull? Oh, there's the way to go. It's surprisingly not as bad as people said it is going to be. It's gotten better. It has gotten better. I don't know if it's going to be. It's probably going to be the go-to. Generally, it has been in previous updates because it has good, consistent AoE. And like playing with it and testing it out, it's still doing kind of okay. Kind of okay, which is not exactly like the most reassuring words you could ever say out loud, but it's doing kind of okay. You know? Are we going big here? I have nothing if we're going big. Unless we can kind of like set up for big cleaves. And if I can get one more of these. Beautiful. We'll probably make something work here. And hopefully Earthquake knocks something down. Maybe. Yeah, you can't do this anymore on beta. Okay, okay. You see what I mean? This guy's a gooper, but he's funny. Down, need your opinion. So with the rogues, I'd say Outlaw is probably going to be a way to go. Assassin, I think, is a very, very competitive spec, though. It is benefiting from a lot of different like bugs that are causing it to do a little bit more damage than anybody would expect it. You know what I mean? Bit more damage than anybody was expecting. But I feel like even after you solve it, the profile is a very single target heavy. I don't know, man. It really depends how keys are getting done, I guess. I would say generally it's a safer bet to bet on Outlaw just because of the AoE damage and the fact that you don't have to sacrifice like single target at all. But also rogues, it comes down to tuning, right? It also partially comes down to tuning. Because like we've had God comp seasons, right? Where if Evoker caster cleaves are really, really good, rogue generally loses value because like there's no need for rogue at all, right? So it all depends, I guess, how big Evoker is going to be, how good Pierce is going to be, how good Mage is going to be. I feel like Mage is going to be a staple of every build, but that Priest Evoker synergy is where I'm like, you know, that's where it's a bit of an unknown. I guess the best way to put it. I don't know. It's a bit of a Wild West right now. I feel like Assassination could be perfectly fine when it comes to keys. I feel like it could be perfectly fine. I like its like overall single target like spatter damage, and the Envenom playstyle that you can play into Deathstalker allows you for a big Envenom hit. So that could be a nice bursty profile where you could really hard focus a single target down quite a lot. Though Outlook can kind of do the same thing with the Fatebound, because you get the coin flips for psychic damage. I'd say like a safe bet is probably going to be Outlaw for keys. But Assassin is very, very close to it. Very, very close to it. Very close. Of course, that looks like a new weapon. What are you talking about? What the heck? What do you mean? Hold on a second. I'll read that in a moment. What are you talking about? Are we doing big pull or just chilling? Vibing? Alright, we're just vibing. Start playing WoW. Talk to your classes. Outlaw is going for me so far. Is doing it for me so far. I think you'll be fine with Outlaw. I think you'll be perfectly fine with Outlaw. It's a solid spec. It is doing decent damage over in the beta, from what I've been able to play with it. Like the buffs we've gotten recently have been pretty good. The spec doesn't really play too differently. Still, I wish there was like some issues with Trickster, like if they were to remove the animation lock of Trickster. I feel like then the spec would be in a much better spot because you have a few more options of what you want to play in terms of like your hero specs. But yeah, and not fun anymore. Lower keys, yeah. At lower keys it can be like that. Appreciate your thoughts on Rogue. No problem, okay. The quarterstaff looks like the most dookie poopy weapon I ever find. What do you think? As in the regular vendors, it's from a white staff. It's swirly. The real color, a little much like Taco Bell color. I mean, those are words. Same way Feral Druid for me. The same way as Feral Druid. You think so? I'm hoping Feral will be good. I've actually seen some logs of Feral's like playing with the mages and playing with like Ellie Shamans. After all these Ellie Shaman nerfs, I feel like Feral Druids probably do more damage than Ellie Shamans. I'm not even joking. I've seen some logs here and there. I've seen some Ferals play here and there. Like, they actually don't do that bad of damage. Surprisingly. Yeah. Words can be poopy. I mean, that's not wrong. That is correct. Accurate. Do we have a new blue post? Okay. Nothing in a moment. Jeez. Let's have a top again. Yeah. The battle is good enough though. I've been running 10s on the beta. The AoE is finally good. Keeping up with mages. The single target is really bad though. Feral, that is. Really. Yeah, Feral Druid, I feel like they haven't really ever been able to like do a good job of Feral Druids in terms of like giving them a profile that can do decent cleave while getting good single target. It's well, like for a couple expansions has been a situation of you either do really good AoE or really good single target damage, but never really amazing at both. I think them trying to shift their focus on bites and cleaving off of bites does give them a bit more like a funnel profile, and I think all you can do at this moment is go for a more funnel build, right? With some focus on a bite damage, right? Spread your bleeds and then bite as much as possible to get some cleave, but yeah. I don't really know. I feel like the problem is you're probably having to spend too many talents to pick up cleave as a Feral Druid, right? Those talents do nothing for you in single target. Like the double rake talent or the rampant ferocity talent. It does nothing in single target, right? What if it had some kind of like a single target benefit, but then also an AoE benefit, so you got at least something in single target. Plus also the class talents. I mean, class talents for druids in general could probably use an overhaul, right? That could use an overhaul completely. It just, I feel like when you do look through them, It's like, just if you were trying to pick up like Typhoon, that's a lot of like Boomkit or rest of towns you gotta pick up that like are attacks just to pick up knockback, or even like the talent next to Typhoon, that's like the damage buff one too. That probably could use a refresher, but hopefully that'll happen like a 0.5 update, if not like a 0.1 update. Hopefully, or sooner the better, right? The sooner the better. But yeah, that's just what happens with some classes. Like Paladin's also in a very similar situation where they feel like they pick up talents that will do nothing for them in single target, or certain talents they'll pick up that don't do as much as the ones in AoE. You have to take 2 points into Moonfire to get Innovate. Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing. That should not be a thing. That should not be a thing. I feel like that talent in particular, like the fact that that should not be a thing. Like those gates and how, like, if at the very least, right, if you could start in the feral side of the top left talent tree and then like cut across towards that row, I feel like maybe that'll be kind of like, if that is balanced okay, or maybe if that talent allowed you to now get procs of Moonfire from your bleeds, right? It's a talent that buffs Moonfire, but unless you pick up the talents for Moonfire, you don't really get buffs from Moonfire. But what if that talent instead gave you like arcane procs from your bleeds, like a proc of arcane damage, right? Somebody at least benefited the feral droid, right? That would have been better. Why not warrior? Like as a class for recommendations, I mean, warrior's not bad. It's just the problem comes down to with warrior on the lack of utility, at least in Mythic Plus content. In raids, you are going to bring a warrior. Rally Cry as well as the commanding shout are good. Plus an execute damage profile or reclaim profile of Fury usually are fine, right? It's a class that you'll want to bring unless you bring in a prot. And if you bring in a prot, you don't necessarily need an Arms of Fury that much. But like in dungeons, you could bring a warrior, but they're only really brought in when they do like giga damage above other classes. They don't really bring that much unique utility or a unique aspect to them, like a rogue, which is a Swiss Army knife, demon hunter, Swiss Army knife, right? Hell, a hunter, Swiss Army knife. A lot of other melee classes bring like more than just like a stun and interrupt and like what if warrior got fear, right? Or I guess AoE stun, but like, yeah, it's just even Death Knight brings a grip, and that could be like uniquely good in certain situations where like that could be disruptive for casters to a degree, right? Frost DK in particular is doing really, really well for that reason. Not a reason alone, because they're just really, really hard hitting, but that does help. That does help. Plus the AMS that you can provide to other people too. I mean, the fact that you can give AMS to your allies is actually kind of like unreal. It's really, really good. Like if warriors maybe had like spell reflect that they could use for their party or for like another member of the group every like 2 minutes or something, or AoE spell reflect every 5 minutes or something, that would be something. That'd be very interesting. That's on Moonwalker Monk in beta. I see quite a bit of them. They don't do that bad of damage. They get in tuned and they get buffed up left and right. I think their damage is not exactly where it used to be, but like the overall playstyle is good. So I can imagine Monk like, would feel really, really good to play. It'd be better, like it feel like the overall rotation buttons and the feel for the class is fine. Talents generally have been an increase, have been an upgrade. There are some nodes that are in a bit of a weird spot. I would probably switch them around a little, but like generally I like all the changes they've done for Moonwalker. They just need to be tuned correctly, and I feel like if they are tuned correctly, they'll be in an excellent spot. I feel like that'll be a great spot. Depends on what level you're trying to push them, and it really does not matter how much until you get to a specific breakpoint. I mean, like when it comes to higher keys, if you had to build from plus. So when it comes to higher keys, yes, I guess like certain classes do become better at certain higher thresholds. However, with WoW community being so meta oriented, right? It's like, yeah, I'm running a +2 Bracken hide, right? And most players would be like, oh, you can bring whatever class you want to, because that is literally the fact. You can bring literally whatever class you want. However, when players see like meta players at the top end running, let's say, Aug Evokers, Mages, I don't know, priests right now, right? Like that stuff trickles down to your casual player who's like, well, why would I want to bring like a warrior or a rogue when the meta players are running literally those best classes? And if I just wait a little longer, I can pick up those best classes for dungeons and have an easier time with a dungeon. Even though it's like, it doesn't really make that much of a difference at that low of a level. It really doesn't. But like, yeah. The meta ends up trickling down a little bit. And when you have a variety of meta, which is what we've seen more or less in Season 3, like a lot more classes were playable and like more people were inviting whatever wanna. But like Season 2 in particular, Aug Evokers were everywhere. Basically every group, even on a lower level key, People will take undergeared evokers into like just do an 8. Like super fresh green gear evoker, and they will take him just to do it, just to get their 8 done because it was quicker, or at least they felt like it was quicker. Whether it's true or not, like it was one of those things that does trickle. If you had to build an S tier M plus team, what would you have in it and all specs what within? Like in the current beta build, that's probably going to be like invalidated by tomorrow or by tonight when they get a new beta build out because they're nerfed above it classes. I'd say like Restus Shaman would be my healer. I'd say I'd want either a Blood DK or a Brewmaster as my tank. Nope, Warrior. Blood DK or Warrior my tank. I feel like both of those don't really take a lot of damage right now. I'd have an AUG. I would have a Destro Warlock because they can just spam Rain of Fire and that kills everything. I mean, if you really want to get cheesy, I just have 3 Destro Warlocks because they're Rain of Firing. But if you really wanted like an S tier and not spamming on the same class, Destro Warlock, Frost Mage. Oh, not Frost Mage. Frost Death Knight, AUG Evoker. Or Unholy DK, either one. It doesn't matter. It works. All works. That's what I would run. That being said, those classes are probably going to go through nerfs, right? So, like, if you're removing the damage profile out of it and you're going for, like, utility, I think, like, the dungeons pool we have right now, there's quite a lot of opportunity for you to be able to get shrouds, right? Whether it's Stone Vault, which is, like, long hallways with not a lot of, like, sight lines for enemies, that's a lot of opportunity for you to skip certain areas that you don't want to do. Like you'll probably skip mobs on the left hand side when you're fighting the Rocky Man, but on the right hand side with the dwarves you could just pull more because there's a ton of dwarves that you can get a lot more percent and they're a little bit easier to deal with. So like Rogue Shroud would be good there. Necrotic Wake was already like, it's been a dungeon where Shroud skips have been really good at like the bridge area or whatever. What's it called? Miss Chernasai. You can do a shroud skip up to the first like big trash pack that you pull, and then you can do some skippies towards the very end. Then you can kind of rush the boss and get a lust going, and then clean up the ads, or vice versa. Right? You can really just maneuver around. Dawnbreaker. I feel like there's quite a bit of shroud opportunity there too, especially when you're doing like a lot of the flying around on the ground. You can really just choose what you want to fight. Well, maybe no. Actually, no. Dawnbreaker, not really. Because you can just fly around anyway. So scratch that. Try to think of all the other dungeons for the season. Arakara, as well as... No, you can skip Arakara. City, Threads. You can do some skippies too. Yeah, there's some maneuverability there at the very beginning. And towards the end, if you want to do it, you can basically pull percent at the beginning and then skip all that stuff at the end and just rush the boss if you wanted to. Yeah, there's some hallway areas you can skip. Probably like a rogue, like if damage excluded, I think there's quite a lot of opportunity for shot skips. That being said, Evoker is still very strong. I think priest stocks have gone down though, so Evoker Mage is still decent. I think Demon Hunter, if that's tuned correctly, could be pretty good. I think Warriors could also be pretty good. Death Knights are looking like a good choice too. I mean, Warlocks are doing giga numbers right now, so maybe like just AUG, Evoker, Mage. You could have a God come back in. I just don't think we'll have Vange's Demon Hunter really being part of it. Like maybe. They are losing a lot of CC though. Have you seen the latest tuning hotfixes in WoW? We were going to take a look at that right now actually. That's what I initially wanted to take a look at. Here we go. So let's see what they got. So these are like just hotfixes, but doesn't mean that all of these are going to be in the new build. Deathbringer for Frost. Are they buffed it? Again? Is that the single target one? All enemies in front of your target. They buffed the AoE version of it? Did they nerf it a couple of weeks ago? Brother. Were killed, sadly, but I lived. Yeah. There's Atha. There's the boy. Yeah, they thought they killed him. Not really. Alright, Monk. Efficient training, Shadow Pad. Energy spenders deal 20% more damage. Okay. Not bad. Is it just for Brew? It looks like... No, it looks like both maybe. Alright, Flurry Strikes. 300 energy. 65. Okay, hold on a second. That's a significant buff. High impact. Enemies who die within 10 seconds are doing... Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a bigger damage window. Personal armor. Yo, hold on a second. I didn't think that would make Shadowpan that good. Okay, got an achievement apparently. 1 versus many. There's a fear damage buffed up. Oh, okay. And Wisdom of the World strikes to attack power. Okay, not bad. Not bad. No, it looks like Shadowpan is being buffed. That's true. So Pally apparently got nerfed. Holy Light. Oh. That's 20%. Is it that much of a nerf? Oh wait, hold on. The aura. Is that a damage nerf? Looks like there's an aura damage nerf. Also nerf for consecration? Word of glory nerf? Oh god, touch of light buffed up by the looks of it from... No, wait, no, is that an 8? That is an 8. That is an 8. Yeah, that's a nerf then. Crusader Strike nerfed? Judgment nerfed? Okay, I need to know. I need to see exactly what they're doing here. Holy Shock, yeah, Holy Shock did get nerfed. Damage nerfed. Healing also nerfed. Light of Dawn nerfed. Light of Dawn. Why? I feel like there's a button you don't want to nerf. When's the last time you pressed Light of Dawn as a paladin? Like willingly. Willingly. Come on, man. Merciful Aura got nerfed. Truth Prevails nerfed. You gotta nerf Truth Prevails? I feel like I see so many paladins running with Truth Prevails and it does so minimal healing. Like 1.7% of your healing, which I guess is like okay, but like... Man. Or is that a different talent? For somebody... No, that is a talent. Yeah, okay. Cheers Deliverance, also nerfed. Herald of the Sun. Radiant damage of spell power healing. So they nerfed the healing component of it. Oh, man. Wow. Sunseer, Sun's Avatar, all nerfed. Ay, 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 ay. I don't know what this is supposed to be. And then Agony. The buff Agony? They did buff Agony by the looks of it. Nice. Hell yeah. Not even 20%. That's a 5% by the way. Oh, you mean like the this right here, not 20%, 5. Yeah, I was just kind of reading the number 400, 380%, 20 off of that 400. That's kind of how I read it. It's not literally, yeah, it's not literally a 20% nerf. Yeah, it is a 5%. I was just kind of reading the number and I threw the word percent in there when I shouldn't have. Yeah, it's my B. That's my B. Yeah, I what I was gonna say, like in the whole like reading through a list and just kind of reacting without really saying anything. I really want to see what that actually translates to, like actual like blue posts in terms of like actual like numbers. But like, damn, that's like the second time they're nerfing paladins like in a pretty big way. Last time it was like the whole combo of the Dawnbreaker or Dawnlight AoE double dipping combo they used to do for a bit. Have a DK prep to level on a mage in addition to my druid just in case, but I love druid so much. I switched to DM from Hunter. Yeah, I am hoping that'll be good, man. I'm hoping druids will be good. I'm hoping. Yeah, so it looks like Pally just got even Holy Prism too. Just took a couple of dings here and there in both the, is it both the damage and the healing? Yeah, both the damage and the healing by the looks of it. Damn. I don't know. That's so sometimes when they were to put nerfs like these, right, that you data mine, that's sometimes this is only a partial list, right? This is a partial list in terms of the hotfixes, but then they'll have like a full-on blue post to explain exactly all the different changes that they're looking to implement also. So with that all being said, I do want to see what the full blue post list is going to be, right? Because hotfixes aren't everything. So I wonder if they're going to have like even more stuff implemented or even more stuff added on the list. But yeah, man, I don't know. Once we get like the final blue post numbers, I feel like we'll have a better idea like how big this is going to be. WoW managed to data mine stuff and the beta didn't get an update. So like that means Blizzard pushed some kind of an update to the beta and Wowhead is able to data mine it, but that means that the beta is not like fully in. They're just like one of the little updates that we're able to push. So that is somewhere in the beta realms, but the realms are not up right now. At least not at the moment. A Shadowpen change could be really good. I think that one has been pretty passive, but they made it like more functional. At least you're getting like the capstone proccing fairly regularly, and that feels really good. And I think the damage numbers could be nice there too. Like the more I play with Shadowpen, the less I hate it. I don't know what it is. The more I play with it, the less I hate it, honestly. Alrighty. Well, with that being said, let's do another key, boys. Yeah, while the beta rolls it down. Hope we'll get more than that. Oh yeah, this is where I'm like, this is where I what I see, like, whenever I do like class updates and class announcements and all this other things, I don't necessarily go and follow the data mined list, right? I kind of usually wait until the proper blue post list, unless it's like something that's been like confirmed by like a class Discord that, hey, these set of changes are arriving to X class or Y class on the beta or whatever. Dark Ranger has potential. You think so? What makes you say that? Anyway, just pray for the Windfury Stormstrike buff with PvP. So how does Stormstrike and Windfury perform in PvE? Is it good or just level edge build? I think you do end up going a Stormstrike build if you're playing a Tempest build or Stormkeeper, Stormbringer, hero spec. But you're mostly doing that for like the resets into the Ascendants, and you're really just trying to play around the like there's a hero spec option for Stormbringer that I think powers your Stormstrike damage, and Stormstrike damage has a chance to turn your Lightning Bolt into a Tempest. So you're really just playing that, but mostly just trying to roll as many Stormstrikes as you can for more Tempest. So you are a Lightning build essentially, not a partial Windfury build, but mostly just a Lightning build. I think Totemic may have some playstyle with a Windfury gameplay, because there's like a way to buff up Windfury weapon proc or enhance his damage, I think, and then you can play into more like a Stormstriker build, like a proper Stormstriker. But then you have to play around that totem that you gotta move all the time, the one that pulses. Because I've never played Ranger before, and it's almost beating people in duels. Zuber Garbo. For the actual ability, I guess for like the kill shots that it offers is pretty good there, isn't it? It's pretty good in that regard. Barb shots and aim shots for marksman, I imagine, are pretty good there too. But also, like, we didn't see a Dark Ranger in duels like this week, actually. It'll be right, probably a good choice for Within. That's a good question. Should be a good choice, because they did say that they want to have Shadow Priest, Windwalk Amongst and Red Polys, like, since they're the only DPS choice for those classes, they want to make sure that they're solid and maybe even kind of competitive. You keep getting nerfed. I'm having doubts as I'm age, dude. Yeah, they get nerfed recently. Like, generally they should be in a good spot, since they do have that commitment to try to make those like the only DPS option for a hybrid class. Generally they want it to be in a decent spot. That being said, I mean, I generally like the playstyle of Paladin and War Within on the beta with the hero specs and all that. That being said, tuning is going to really come down to like a pretty big factor here. I guess the question then would be like, does Paladin bring something unique to the table that even if the damage, let's say, is a little underrated, like would they still be brought in? And now that they lost a rate buff, I feel like less reliable spot that they get inside of rate settings. But like the profile should be decent. Tuning, it comes down to tuning, I think, at the end of the day. Because now Paladin's a lot, not as mandatory, but like they generally have a really good, like, I feel like their defensive or utility kit too is also kind of getting downgraded as well, since you know how like with the affixes for M+, at least like in season 3 of Dragonflight, when they had like the root of affix, the dispel affix, the ghost CC affix, like Paladin could deal with those pretty easily, but also you were very, very tanky class with a better damage profile every bit, right? So you can play around the damage profile better. Going to a 30-second damage profile makes you even more flexible, but now you don't have all those affixes to deal with. Instead, you have the Xalatath affixes, which are not really necessarily great for Paladin. I mean, I guess you can deal with one of them with a blind, but it's more like a universal like way that a bunch of other classes could deal with. For Paladins being like a dispel class, only a handful of classes that are not healers had a dispel. Root Breaker, Pallies have Hand of Freedom. Like other classes have their own root breaks, but like you could get 2 people with a single ability, and you don't really necessarily need Hand of Freedom for too many other mechanics. So Root Breaker there was really, really good. Ghost CC, you also could have Repent or the Fear one. Either one of those worked out for Pally too. So it had like a bit of like a support utilitarian kind of like play to it. Like you could either bring an Evoke to do all these things, or you could bring a Paladin and you would have nice damage with it too. How to access the beta for War Within? So either get the Epic Edition, which at this point, honestly, I don't think it's really that worth unless you want to play the early access for the expansion. But yeah, so the only way to guarantee is like signed up for the beta and then hope you'll get it like in the next wave. Technically, they do wave invites every single week. But if you just want to guarantee the invite, I guess you could do War Within Epic Edition, which is a pretty penny. But I don't know if it's that necessary because expansion comes out in like 3 weeks, you know? So it's like, you could get it now, but like, expansion is almost here. So you could just wait a little. Yeah. Personally, I think a maximum of 2 classes should be able to cover a raid buff. Palace should be able to provide attack power, warlocks, intellect, etc. That's a subject that's been floated around quite a lot, actually. Is should classes have like more than 1 class, they can cover a raid buff or 2. Probably, yeah. Probably, yeah. I don't think that'll be the worst. Probably. If you're in the UK, Europe, I have a 02 Virgin Media account. You can get a free beta code from Priority app. Really? Wait, hold on. Is that serious? Is that legit? That's wild. I had no idea. Is that true? Anybody? What about fewer words compared to Red Palette and for M plus no raid? I mean, damage-wise, I think Fury Warriors have like a really good profile, especially with the Ghost Slayer. Like they crank damage. Lot of damage. But versus a Pally, I don't know. I don't quite know. Is I guess my word. Is I guess what I would say. I don't quite know. Because Red Pally has a bit more utility than Warrior. I feel like on damage alone, Fury wins. I feel like I'd say Fury's a little bit better. Especially with the Pally recently getting nerfed. That being said, tuning isn't final, and that could really change. So Pally could be adjusted with a tune like really well, right? That is always an opportunity there. I'll do a queue while we're waiting for beta realms. What item level is this guy? Not great, not great. So we'll do between a 3 and a 6. I don't really know if I'll get invited to a 6, unless I just randomly do. Unless we just randomly do. Is it fortified this week? I didn't even look. I really would like a Brackenhide if I can find one. Because I wanted to do Brackenhide earlier. And I think a Brackenhide would be really fun. With a Brackenhide, but it's already filled. Don't buy the Epic Edition if you're not a content creator, don't support early access. That is another good point too. Like if you really are against early access, which, yeah, it could be an opportunity for you to just be like, you know what? Yeah, nah. Once again, for burst rotation, 7.5 mil. Yeah. Yeah, the early access thing I feel like was a very controversial change because they haven't really done it before. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm excusing it, but I am gonna say this. I do understand why they did it, because one, other video games do it, right? Other video games companies are doing the same thing. Early access, people are gonna buy it, right? It's just, why not? You can get a little bit extra money your way. So like, literally, why not? One. And two would be... What happened? What the hell? The group just fell apart so quick. He just invited a bunch of people and then just bailed. What happened there? Some Shaman, I guess the Shaman was a group lead for the Brackenhide. He invited a bunch of people and then he left. Like, did he just randomly accidentally click and was like, you know what? I'm just gonna back out and go again. Is that what happened? I don't even understand. I don't even understand what happened. But yeah, the whole, like, so this is why I understood it, right? Like, and you can say I'm excusing it, but this is my take on it, right? So they end up moving some of the benefits of like Heroic and Epic Edition into like the base edition, right? Because base edition normally never came with a character boost, and then moved like character boost that comes with the Heroic into the basic. And we're like, okay, well now Heroic seems like it's lost a little bit of value, so we'll move some of the stuff from Epic Edition into Heroic. Okay, well now Epic Edition seems like it lost a little bit of value. What do we do? Beta and a couple of days early, without any advantages on gear or anything whatsoever. It's like, what the hell? What the hell? can't get in the key. So it's like, I guess from that angle I get it, but also like, if other games are doing early access and they're getting a little bit, couple of buckaroos their way, like, why wouldn't everybody else do it, right? If it works, why wouldn't they do it? You know what I mean? Like, generally, when it comes to like most games, I don't think it's a good idea to do early access or even pre-purchase unless you know for certain. Like, generally that shouldn't be a practice we should generally be promoting. The only situation where I think somebody should do a pre-order, right, or early access or whatever, is if you know you're gonna play it, even if it's hot garbage. That's the only reason why you should ever do it, because then at that point you just choose what you do with your money. The only reason you should do it is if you're definitely gonna play it, even if it's trash from the day one. As somebody who does WoW videos, this game is essentially what I do. So for me, makes total sense to get the whole beta thing and everything, right? The whole shindig, the whole all the bells and whistles. It just makes sense. Just makes sense. You know what I mean? But like, for you, for anybody who's like an average consumer of games and all that, right? Just really just give it a second. Just give it a thought. And if you don't like the practice, don't promote it. Because there's gonna be people like me that are doing the content creating and stuff. Like, yeah, I do the early access thing, but like at the same time, I feel like that doesn't mean that impact cannot be made that way, right? Like, let's say if enough people don't promote the whole like early access, just don't buy it. I mean, every single one of the game companies are going to feel it either way. Even if like a handful of content creators do end up like rolling with it, if like your average consumer in vast... Also, why is this thing like... Am I seeing this correctly? I don't think it's just like guts and blood is flying in all different... Just the viscera is flying in all directions. Is this normal? Is this normal for this mount? Okay, it stopped. Oh, okay, it's back. All right, it's eating the other. Isn't it eating the otter? It's eating the little otic. Brutal. But yeah, like I think it's perfectly respectable position to just be like, you know what? Don't support early access. Because like when it comes to every other game, any other game outside of WoW, every other game, I don't do the early access thing. Even if I am gonna play the game, I don't do the early access. I think the only one I've done like an exception for outside of like WoW, strictly WoW, has been Baldur's Gate. But that's because it's Larian, right? It's because it's Larian. I didn't do it for CG Projekt Red when people were excited about Cyberpunk. I thought, you know what? Hold on a second. No. BioWare usually loved Mass Effect. I love Dragon Age. BioWare comes over in the game? No. Not doing it. I'm probably going to play the game. I'm not doing it early access thing. Nope. Because God forbid, let's say it comes out and it's actually hot garbage, then at least like, okay, well, it's going to hit them in the pocketbook at some point. Or rather, actually, apparently based on Steam, especially if you buy games with Steam, apparently if you do refund through Steam, they actually lose money. Because essentially Steam takes their cut, and when you refund, Steam doesn't have to give their cut up. Essentially, the publisher needs to refund you fully, plus Steam's cut that was taken out of it too. So technically, if you did do it through Steam and did do like refunds, you would do it through Steam. If any other game does it, early access editions just FOMO tactics has been like that. Always will be horrible practice. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree. For me, the only reason why WoW I kind of give it an excuse, because it's like even if the game is hard garbage, essentially I'm probably gonna end up playing it. It is a game that I like. WoW is a game that I do enjoy. My take on it is a bit biased. Early access should only be for solo games. When it comes to MMO producers, there shouldn't be any. To be fair, that's true. Yeah, the way that Blizz does it, right, is there's no gear advantage or anything like that. I guess the only thing you can get advantage of is like, I guess you get to do crafting and professions and gathering a little bit earlier than everybody else. So there's advantage there, right? Leveling the character, being able to get a bunch of alts up and running before everybody else. There's going to be an advantage there. Being able to start exploring the content, doing delves immediately. You're going to be at least ahead of gear where, let's say, by the time you start leveling, somebody's already max level and already has a decent bit of gear and knows already doing normals and heroics. So they're like ahead of you. That being said, there are caps of how much gear you can get during the very first 2 weeks of leveling. So like reaching that same cap, even if you don't do the early access, you will still be able to do it, right? It'll take you as much time as it took that other person. They just get to start it a little bit earlier, I guess. Like they're really trying to limit just how much progression you can do during those first 2 weeks, because essentially they're just leveling weeks, right? You're not supposed to be able to make like a gig amount of progression. That being said, yeah, it still is not ideal. Still is, there's like an advantage, either like a perceived advantage or like a small advantage, inherent advantage in some degree or another. And sometimes perception can have a bigger impact than reality. For some characters, rogue, like if I had to add to the list, Death Knight, Mage, easily. It doesn't matter how Blizzard does it, or at least being a wild ride and knowing the people at the starting line. Was it tradition in Blizzard effed it up because of money? That is a good point. That is a good point. Like, oh hey, I got it. Hopefully I don't get kicked out randomly. Like I said before, they ended up basically taking heroic upgrade benefits and added to the base game, so the players beginning the base get more out of the game. Then they took some of the stuff that's usually in the Epic Edition, dropped it into the what is it? They dropped it into the what is it? Heroic Edition, I guess. What is it called? Is it Heroic Edition? Heroic Edition, Epic Edition? Yeah, basically like the +1 edition, and then Super Special Team Edition, right? The Epic Edition. They were like, well, we gotta add something in there just so it gets some kind of value, whatever. I don't know. I feel like the beta access thing, even that was controversial. Actually, all of it was controversial. I don't think it could win. I don't think it could win. I think generally also the community perception on the entire thing was negative from the get-go. So like you're trying to essentially fight against that perception. Even though like one person may think like, oh, that's a really, really bad look, while the other person may think like, oh, it's not that bad of a look, the average player perception is like, this is not a good look. Where, yeah, the way that I look at it is, are you going to be able to get any kind of like advantages above somebody else in terms of gear and game stuff? And it doesn't seem like you're getting e-gear and endgame, but like I said, there are other things like professions, experience in the story, all of that. And like you said, everybody gets started on a fresh starting line. I think if anything, and I don't really know if it's much of a consolation prize, and I don't really want to like run it as like a, but think of it this way, consolation prize kind of deal. But like, hopefully, right? Hopefully this whole like early access and like delayed launch for some players hopefully resolves server issues so the game is at least more stable, but like it's probably not gonna be, right? That's like the thing is like everybody starts in the same starting line and then everybody's stuck at like the very first quest for like hours, and then the game starts DCing and then servers are crashing, and it's not like you essentially can really get to play the game for the most part. You're sitting there in the starting area with the very, very first quest and you literally cannot complete it for hours and hours and hours on end, right? So maybe at the very least, maybe that experience of actually being able to progress and do quests and stuff with it being all staggered, maybe players individually will be able to experience all that like in a more smoother fashion. But yeah, not necessarily like a not necessarily the best way of like not necessarily a good trade-off. I think not an ideal trade-off by any measure. Personal problem with the bad time management, while the other is corporate greed during player base. That's, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I honestly I don't really know if like there's I don't really know if we'll be able to get rid of corporate greed. I feel like it's always going to be there. I think at the very bare minimum, I wonder if like I feel like if corporate greed is always going to be there, at the very least, like, okay, it's always going to exist. Which practices should be allowed, which practices should not be allowed, right? It's always going to exist. So, like, if maybe, probably not the best way to put it, but it's like, actually, scratch that. I'm not going to continue the train of thought. I don't have the mental right now. Just like put it all together. Like, I have an idea what I want to say. I haven't thought it through. I haven't like come up with an idea while midstream. I'm not great at it ever, so Started a trail. I'm gonna edit right there. What's up, Jake? How you doing, man? Caps, all good, all good. Is Hulk having a job in life? That's management level. True. Exactly, that is your personal situation was. Yeah, I get 4 hours to play a week max. It's like everyone else being able to play 6 months before me. It doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, early access tactics will stay here for a long time. I do agree with that, yeah, because it works. It does work. It does work. Some people are so excited to play a game, like they're like, okay, F it, I have expendable income, I'm just gonna use it. Because that is their hobby. They don't spend money on anything else. That's part of the unique thing about video games. For some people, it's like that's literally the only thing that they invest money into, because that is their hobby. That is what they're in, you know? They'll get themselves an insane PC. They won't even do streaming on a PC. They won't stream on Twitch. They just have it for their own enjoyment. And they'll just spend expendable income on games because that's what they like, right? The way someone thought, hey, let's make microtransactions, it'll work. It started with a horse armor in Oblivion. It started with goddamn horse armor in Oblivion. Let's be honest, that's literally where it started in. And we have the man to thank us for that. It's literally horse armor. It does nothing. It just adds armor to your horse. And they thought, that's a good idea. Let's sell that. It started there. Maybe you could probably trail back microtransaction to a much older time where it's like, yeah, technically it's actually starting much older than that, but like that is the first visible BSM microtransaction where it's like, really, you're gonna charge however much was it, 10 bucks for horse armor? Or I don't even remember how much it was at the time. It was like with Xbox points or whatever it was, wasn't it? But it's like horse armor, really. It does nothing. It just adds armor to your horse. Really? Really? Could have been a free update. It's all started with Oblivion. That's the dude. There must be a better timeline where like first microtransaction probably did not start in Oblivion. It was probably the most ethical microtransaction ever of like a DLC for 99 cents with a nice new storyline. There's probably a version of Oblivion somewhere that when they got first microtransaction, it wasn't horse armor in some universe, alternate universe of ours, where it was like a full-blown DLC that's essentially like Shivering Isles level, but like 99 cents. It was like the most ethical microtransaction ever, and like everybody bought it in droves and everybody loved it. It was like really well done, right? Like when the microtransactions are like not giga expensive and they actually bring value to you, like people will pay for it. It's just like a lot of them don't have any value. You played a survival a lot lately? I've been like it a lot, thinking about playing it more within as a main. For me, no. I'm Hunter as a class is not something I would main. Like survival maybe specifically I enjoy, but marksman and BM is just like not necessarily a class that's like not necessarily a class that I'm like invested into as much, right? So as a class overall, Hunter is if you take a look at all the different parts of Hunter, I'm like, I like survival specifically. I don't really have too much attention, attachment to like beast mastery at all. Can we do a bigger pull than that? Just a slightly bigger pull, boys. Just a slightly bigger pull. Yeah, just a little bigger. Yeah, isn't that nice? Oh, that's a good big pull. Yeah, for Hunter, I couldn't see myself making it as of this moment. Could not. It's a fun class, don't get me wrong. It's a very fun class. Probably should have pulled a little more. It won't be pulled, but it's okay. It's up to the tank here who wants to run this. It's his key, his dungeon. We'll do how he wants to do it. Oh, I got a dude chasing me, please. Please. Try to see if we can get past him. Ah, I'm gonna die. I'm drawing a lot of aggro. I'm doing a bit of damage. Just a little bit of damage. That's my fault. No, you're fine, fam. You're fine. Actually, no. How dare you? It is your fault. Let's gaslight the healer. They love that. Let's gaslight my healer. They love that. Oh my god, it is a lot of fun though. It is a blast. It is enjoyable spec, but I've always liked survival. Like ever since it went melee, I've always liked it for a good bit. So specifically, the monk that dinged with last night is already 500 ML. By the way, that's pretty good. Hell yeah, man. How does it still go burr? We burr. on Demi. Let's see what really. Okay, he wants to pull small. We'll pull small, man. We'll pull small. We'll do how he wants to run this scheme. I'm okay with this. Can I stun that? I can stun that. Oh, I can do this. Yeah. It's like tactics here, then we're like just like the FOMO tactics from early access editions. Look, there's some FOMO like generally I don't think FOMO tactics are great, but I don't really have a consistent stance on FOMO tactics myself, honestly. Like in WoW and FOMO tactics, right? Like let's say, oh, get these items before they're gone. Like let's say, like if an item disappears after a PvP season is over, or like a raid season, or like the Mage shower weapons, right? The skins are for that, right? Technically, all of it is FOMO, but like I feel like when you have FOMO in a MMO, it adds like value to those items because otherwise they're just pixels. But what makes them cool is because they're like so unique and you can't get them as easily once they're gone. Those pixels are gone. At the end of the day, they are pixels, but like why the pixels are exciting is because you can't get them as easily, right? There's not a limited quantity of them, but rather like limited opportunity to get them. And it's just like, I don't know, I've always enjoyed that part about WoW. It's not something that I have a consistent stance on when it comes to other games, because generally FOMO is not good, I agree. But like, let's say like there's a cool dragon that you can get, but you have to do like this really hard boss fight. And you have to do it like as a group or whatever, right? It's very difficult. Only a handful of players get to do that fight. But like, that's why it's cool, because only a handful of people can do it, and the mounts is really cool, right? People want it because this looks dope and it's also really hard to get. If you would give this mount to everybody, like let's say they do it in like a, I don't know, let's say like an event, right? Like let's say the anniversary event, because they do have like WoW anniversary events, and they give away stuff there all the time, like they give this Deathwing mount to everybody, right? I mean, there's like 2 of them too actually, but the first time he did it, right? Deathwing. This thing, Obsidian Warbreaker, right? That's a cool mount. A lot of people liked it when it came out. It is unique. It has this like animation to it. The sound is unique to that of a Deathwing. But like nobody really thinks of it as a cool mount, because it really isn't. I mean, I guess we all perceive like what we think is cool, right? Everybody's different. But nobody's writing that thing and says it's like a, wow, it's a really cool mount. Like it looks kind of neat, sure. Some people like it, but if I could trap that guy. But like why certain mounts are really cool and why they're like the owl, right? The Farak mount, right? Why is this mount really cool? Because it's, well, it's hard to get. That makes it like unique, and it makes it really neat, and everybody wants it because it's so cool. Like it has a animation, like it's an owl and all that. But like if they gave this owl to everybody, I feel like it would be one of those mounts that people will forget about really quickly. You know what I mean? So I feel like I definitely don't have like a consistent stance when it comes to FOMO stuff. I don't. I just don't. But I feel like in some cases FOMO, I guess, works. And I feel like that is definitely a take people don't really want to hear, but that's just how I feel. I get what people said, like, oh man, but I wasn't around for like a certain, I don't know, event, like the Mage Tower back at Legion, for example, right? Or let's say Mr. Pandaria thing, right? Some people weren't born back then, but it's like, but having those items unique for that time era also makes them like unique and cool and whatever. You know what I mean? Templars Project is cool. Yeah, Templars Proto is also really cool. Like it's any other Proto, it just colored differently. But what makes it cool is the fact that you can't like just go out and get one, right? You don't just get to log in and there it is right in your bags. You got to really camp it. You have to work for it, right? Is it a pain? Yes. But once you get it, oh, you did it. There it is, man. You know what I mean? And stuff like that, right? Because that one is not necessarily removed from the game, but it's like really hard to get. And maybe that is what they could do in the future, like just not remove those items, still give you an opportunity to get it, to make those items, but like make them hard to get. Kind of like how right now you can do like Mythic for rack and you get a guaranteed bird, but later it becomes like a chance to get the bird after the, you know, the thing is on farm. Of course, it works as a tactic drive for global marketing psychology, is the same as loot boxes always being so flashy. No, not wrong. Not wrong. But like, I don't know, I just have a really hard time like putting like a mount in WoW or like a cool artifact weapon from WoW in like the same box like a loot box. I just have a hard time with it. right? Give me like a year or two, and maybe my mindset about it will change completely. But I just have a hard time like putting the two next to each other and being like, oh, same thing, you know? I get where people are coming from. I just personally have a hard time with it specifically. Maybe like I have the wrong mindset about it too, right? Wouldn't be the first time. Not comparing them. Fair enough. I am also getting like only part of the context with the chat because I'm trying to go pumpy, trying to help people live. You know what I mean? I see I'm not got my time lost, but I see the chorus for 4 times. No! I hope you get it, my man. I hope you get it at some point. Like at this point, like it's taunting you right now, but hopefully it's just like it's teasing you. You just the mount is just edging you until you get it. That's all it is. Also, am I lost? I am lost. Okay. We got lost now. That's good. Who's targeting? That guy? Is it me? Nope. Not me. Looking for the element right now, hoping I can get it all the way through. The Farak one? Yeah, hopefully get it, my guy. Hopefully you get it. It is a lot more doable now, Farak. It still is a fight you have to properly learn and whatnot, but it is a lot easier. Like, not easy, but it's a lot easier than it was like before pre-patch. No rogue buffs. I know, dude. I know. Technically, we're doing decent damage, but I really wouldn't want to see buffs for rogues. I mean, maybe some for assassin outlaw because sub is mostly fine. But like, I really want bug fixes. I really want some talent changes. I want to remove the animation lock on a trickster capstone. That would I love to see. No, I'm not immune to FOMO. I still die inside every time somebody walks by with a Pandaren challenge set. I don't. I think it's what makes the game cool, and that's just how. I feel like I've talked to a couple of friends about it too. Like they were same mindset as you. Like, dude, it's like, dude, how come? Let's say somebody didn't play back in Pandaria, right? They never even had the opportunity to get the towers or the challenge mode set. Not even a chance, right? They literally never got back to, unless like they release like Mr. Pandaria Classic, they probably won't have that chance, right? And they said that, yo, Remix should have been the opportunity for them to add that back in the game, right? Make it difficult, make it challenging, do whatever the hell you have to do, but like give the players an opportunity to earn it again, right? The way I see those things, like when I see somebody have cool pixels on their character, I get excited because it's like, wait, that looks so awesome. How do you get it? Oh, you can't get it? Okay, well, I want to get some cool pixels myself at some point. It makes me personally excited for like wanting to, like, when I see an opportunity like the Mage shop, for example, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be thinking to myself like, man, I saw that guy with Mr. Pandaria pixels and I can't get those, but I basically essentially don't want to be looking at, am I gonna die? I feel like I'm gonna die. We just died to a disease. I don't know if he's got heals or not. He can dispel us. Yeah, if you want it. Wait, can't I dispel myself? Oh, I can. Hold on. I'll do the next step. Okay. We're dead. Okay, this gives an opportunity to like think about what I want to say because I'm struggling here. Unless I'm just in combat. Alright. I don't know why I have both of them up here. We're doing like this. But yeah, so what was I gonna say? God, I was my train of thought so quickly. Like, when I saw the guy in Mr. Pandaria set, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And then I was like, I was playing at the time in Pandaria too, but I knew that I was never gonna be good enough to actually earn it. But it did give me that drive to like, at some point I do want to have some cool stuff of my own. When Legion came around and the Mage Shower came in, I wasn't PvEing at all. I was mostly a PvP guy, but I was like, okay, this is my moment. These things are cool. It made me think of like the Pandaria set. I was like, this is the Pandaria set, but for this expansion, and I won it. Hundreds of pulls, hundreds of attempts on a boss, and finally got it. God, it was the best feeling ever. Like for me, when I see someone running with cool stuff, like I don't necessarily get the whole like feeling of, oh man, I really want to have it, I need to have it kind of deal. It's like, I appreciate what they got in terms of how cool and rare the item is. And like, yeah, I guess I wish I had it too, but like, there's also that uniqueness of, like, it's gonna sound stupid, but like, uniqueness of not having it yourself. If that makes any sense at all. But it's like, it's a dope ass item, and like, it's unique, I guess to some degree because I don't have it, right? Because not everybody has it. And I guess I just have I've always had like a different mindset of it. And I definitely, I know I'm like in the minority of the mindset. I know I'm in that minority mindset. Not everybody else thinks that way. Like just talking to my friends, yeah, they don't. I tell them the same thing and they're like, F that, I want it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna faint. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make sure he gets tricks. I need to trick him from now on. I'm doing a lot of Davey. You know what I mean? Beta down, new build. Beta down, new build, not yet. Hopefully, though. Hopefully. We've been waiting for a bit here. What will the main be? Most likely Rogue, Christopher. Most likely Rogue. Like, Rogues have gotten buffed up. They've gotten some new talents. They really just need to solve, like, Trickster. And I think we'll be golden. Mostly. Partially. Maybe. Kind of, sort of. But, Binding Shot not on? Binding Shot not on. But, yeah. Rogues have gotten a little better. A little better. And I really do mean, like, a little. But they have buffed us by quite a number, so that is nice at the very least. But yeah, it's most likely going to be a rogue. My guild needs a rogue anyway, so that would be my main for a couple of expansions now. So it kind of makes sense to maintain a rogue because everybody needs a rogue buff. But the damage numbers, the damage tuning they've given us so far has been like a lot better. Like, better than I expected. If that makes any sense. Only PvP. Remember you 5 years ago, only PvP? I do everything now, man. I do keys, I do raids, I still PvP. We host our duels still pretty regularly. Only PvP videos. I kind of do everything, man. I kind of do everything. I play a lot of alts, I play a lot of everything now. Usually, I do still have a main though, and it's been rogue for a while. Is this still bugged, or did they fix some chat? Having a lot of fun on ASUS. ASUS is popping off on the beta right now. Like whenever REALMS are back up. I initially wanted to play some ASUS today, man. That's initially what I wanted to spend my time with today. Playing some ASUS, because that thing is nutty. It is doing some ridiculous damage. It is doing some numbers. And for no reason too. Actually, there's a couple of reasons. There's some bugs that are causing them to do some juicy damage, but might as well have some fun with it. You know what I mean? Rogues have been in a weird spot for a good bit of the beta and the alpha process, where we've been really, for the most part, undertuned. So now would be a good time to like just go stretch your legs, have some fun. Get some 4 million eviscerates just because. It is wild though. Isn't it the hardest PvP class? It used to be. I remember like back in like Cataclysm, I'd say it used to be pretty like hard to play. I feel like rogues have only gotten easier over time though. I think a lot of other classes have as well, but I feel like Sub-Rogue in particular used to be a really tough class with a lot of micromanagement you had to do in terms of resources, from comp points to energy, because you used to have those comp points that didn't like stay on your character, that stayed on the target, so transferring was hard. Plus you had to maintain slice and dice, recuperate, rupture, garrote, and still get your shadow dance combos going while still enabling full CC with only one dance that was up every minute, right? So I feel like there was like more difficult versions of Rogue. I feel like it's gotten like much easier since. It is still like, it is still pretty skill cap worthy class though, that's for sure. But it has been more difficult than previous expansions though, without a doubt. It's a discussion that me and Census had like a while ago in terms of like difficulty of Rogue, and it used to be really like a lot of management, a lot of like micro like adjustments that you had to constantly consider and keep a track of. And people were doing that without weak auras. It's kind of wild. Still remember combos being on target. Yeah, dude, those things, they still are a thing if you play Cataclysm, but yeah, that was like that is a trip. If you play it like retail, and then the first time like Classic Vanilla came out, I think for a lot of players they were like, wait, where are my combo points? If you just look away from the target, they disappear. So you literally cannot just even on-target the target you're looking at, right? It didn't really become like super convenient up until maybe Mr. Pandaria, where at least you could like transfer them pretty regularly. And even then, like, you still had to transfer them. You couldn't just like keep them. You had to still move them around. That was a hell of a mechanic. Yeah, the OGs would know, dude. The OGs remember. The OGs know. It's one of those, like, it is one of those mechanics that was like, I think cool for the time, but like looking back at it, I'm just like, God, seriously? That's how we used to play? I mean, it's interesting. I just can't imagine going back to that. Imagine they would just decided, all right, guys, tomorrow, like tonight, beta build comes out for War Within, right? And they're like, all right, combo points are now on the target, not on you. And here's a redirect that you can use once every minute. Good luck. You know how hard it would be for everybody to get used to that all over again? Yeah, combo points would just disappear. They would just be gone. Combo points, be gone. They would just disappear as soon as you looked away from a target. Like as soon as you lost line of sight of them, that's it. You know, you're targeting them, the combo points are there, you look away for a second, or even just hit escape to on target, you target them, they're gone. You literally have to be like so like ahead of the curve in terms of like how you planned your combos and your goes. Had to be very careful with it. It was insane. Like looking back at it, was insane, but back then I think it was a little bit easier for rogues in terms of like at least single target, right? At least in PvE content, right? Because like you didn't really have like an AoE ability, you didn't have Fatal Knives. You were designed as like a single target class, maybe like a combat rogue with Blade Flurry for a little bit, but like you were encouraged to be like mostly single target, just focus on a primary target, right? That was the design of the rogue, is priority target kind of a class, not an AoE class. So then when a rogue couldn't manage their combo points in AoE and target swap effectively, right? Manage their combo points effectively in AoE, that was even more impressive then. Because it was like really able to like plan out ahead of time, because you need to do planning. You needed to do a lot of planning. I like Tomato Rogue, but I'm so jealous of DK's Warriors Demon Hunters. Yeah, I would definitely, like, I would still recommend doing this. If you're planning to main a rogue in War Within, I would definitely invest into an ult. Whatever you choose to play, I would definitely invest into an ult. Just in case, because rogues have been in a weird spot for a good bit over on the beta, and who knows, like, if it'll be all of a sudden magically golden, right? I'd be very surprised if we were just all of a sudden magically on the golden boy. Be very surprised. I would definitely have a character like an ult ready, just in case. There's a feral druid that just keeps running around with the oh, we got feared. Did we pull out all of it? Can we live this? If the healer heals, healers heal. I'm gonna feign death myself. Feign death. If I can remove that really quickly. And there's enough stuff for me to AoE on, so maybe pick that guy. Yeah, we'll live this. Sorry, just had to focus for a second. Remember the pain? Yeah, he did too. Hell yeah, dude. Wanna watch Pika play Rogue? It just makes you never want to try it. Really? Now, normally when people say like when they watch Pika, they want to start playing Rogue because it usually looks OP. That's the first take. Makes it not want to try it. It's just like too much. It is. There's a lot going on with Rogue still. Like they're definitely not the most complex they've been ever, but there's still quite a bit, man. There's still quite a bit going on. Either way. Yeah. But yeah, Assassination is looking really good on beta. I'm hoping still beta REALMS to come up before we're done here. So I could just show you guys what they were doing. Because yesterday, remember how yesterday, I don't know if you were there for stream yesterday, but I was like, in time I was like, oh man, this rogue is popping off, but like my Ellie Shaman, it's just like, what have I done, baby? And like, Ellie Shaman definitely did get nerfed, but like rogues are benefiting from bugs on the beta, but they're doing more damage than expected. Just a little bit more damage than they're intended. Just a bit. Question here, chance of luck, yes or no? Not yet. Once expect releases, then yes. Did you look at the 4 cups of coffee before you generate it? Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, for me it's the opposite. I feel like every time I join an arena, I always get those first game jitters, and I need to like calm down. Every single time I first arena of the day, I'm like anxious every time, and it's like I can't think clearly, or not really think clearly actually, but it's more like I feel like I need to be calm and collected to manage my comp points effectively and focus on my rotation and focus on lining up CC. But if I'm just like all over the place, I usually am tripping on myself. I'm not doing as much damage as I could be. All that. The guy. Uh-oh. Like I think? Okay, what are we doing without him? Rest in peace. Yeah, every single time, like I know every single game I do, it's like first game I know it's like, okay, it's my warm up, or rather it's my it's rather a cooldown session more than anything. Is that guy die? Uh-oh, that's not good. Is a new build for a beta the realms? There isn't up right now. Yeah, you have the realms like on the right hand side of the stream. It's not in yet. They don't have a blue post. They have like some data mine stuff, but not like a proper blue post for it or anything yet. So hopefully we'll be seeing that in a bit here. Uh-oh. That guy died. That's not good. Oh yeah, we can res him. That is a mechanic. Gotta get him. Oh, good guy. God, gotta love the mobility of a survival man. I was about to say marksman. Alright. Never mind. I was gonna say, like, this is my favorite part. I was gonna just eagle it from a mile away. But no, don't need to. Is my damage really that bad? I guess it is. I think the single target damage of survival has been a little like on and off. I feel like with the right setup of talents, it's decent. But I like a more like a, if you have like a rating build setup. Data mine stuff, yeah. So those things are not in on the beta at the moment. We'll have to wait until they have like a proper blue post, I think. We're kind of waiting for it patiently, seeing if it'll come up. Should be up soon, I imagine. There we go. I made Outland Season 3 DF, but it was so much stuff to pay attention to on my class. I couldn't pay enough attention on the other classes around me. Felt overwhelming. Yeah, Outland is definitely one of those classes that is in the overwhelming department. Like, if any classes got cut down a little bit in terms of like the amount of stuff you gotta track, Outland as a class is a lot of things you gotta track constantly at all times. It is a lot. Yeah, with Outlaw specifically, it is a lot. Not gonna lie. With Outlaw, it's pretty yeah, pretty something. Yeah, I feel like that's the spec that could probably make it a little bit easier in terms of the management. I feel like the resets on between the eyes, those are fun, but either were maybe more guaranteed, then I think you could at least plan around for it a bit better. I feel like the comp points, like when you build them with pistol shot and sun strike and ambushes, they're not as responsive as they could be. I feel like there's always been like a responsiveness lost there that you don't really feel with a sub or assassination. Like, I don't know if anybody else played that, but like it seems like the animation or delay of ambushes or the pistol shots or whatever, like if it delivered comp points instantly, because instead of doing like a single like pistol shot that fires multiple shots, it's not like a single animation, it like actually has to automate every single pistol shot those combo points, and it just feels a little like weird. But also the buff mechanic could attract between the eyes mechanic, the cooldown reduction mechanic, and all that. They probably could shift the playstyle a little bit less of like constantly up for cooldowns, which people like the fact that you have cooldowns up constantly on the spec, right? With big CDR and Adrenaline Rush basically 24/7. They could shift it a little bit to be more closer to Assassination, where you don't live in Adrenaline Rush as often, but could make it a better cooldown where it's a lot more effective. To have like a burst window as Outlaw, which I don't think would dilute the rest of the spec at all. I feel like the spec actually does kind of suffer because it doesn't really have a burst window. But if you didn't have to manage those cooldowns up 24/7 the entire time, that would be, I think, a little bit better, right? And what they could maybe do is keep the whole crack shot between the eyes reset playstyle, but maybe introduce things such as the older BFA type of playstyle, like with pistol shots doing like a ton of damage with the green skin talent for Outlaw, right? But also, like, basically just gotta equalize the cooldown reduction across all builds. Still allow for different choices for builds, but allow for things like slower paced playstyles of Outlaw with a little bit less minutia management, but also like still decent damage to still have a play. Because they even were able to do something like that with Fury Warriors. Were able to let you play either a fast-paced, haste-heavy, carpal tunnel-inducing playstyle with a enrage mechanic. Or you can go for like a slower gameplay, but everything hits harder. So you have this like Annihilator type of a feel, because Annihilator used to, it's like the one where Raging Blows become auto attack damage, kind of. It's a capstone Fury Warriors used to have back in Dragonflight, or literally the last expansion. But it's removed in War Within because they want you to use Raging Blow and Bloodthirst and all the other abilities. They don't want you to have like just an auto attack passive playstyle. But they wanted to recreate that feeling, right? Because it was a slower playstyle, but you didn't have to spam your buttons nearly as like aggressively. So they gave you like that talent where you can either have like faster paced, full frenzy, big, quick carpal tunnel damage playstyle, or like a slower but everything hits harder kind of a playstyle. And it works. It's actually kind of effective if people are actually playing it in like Mythic Plus or in raids. Combat was easy but decisive. Yeah, combat was like, I think what they did with combat is, it said easy but decisive. If they could somehow take the good parts of the roll the bones mechanics, right? Take away maybe some of the RNG out of it, right? That would be kind of great. So like at least like every time you roll the bones, you get like 2 buffs, right? Remove some of the RNG talents with roll the bones and minutia, or just make that passive. Make our tier set that we have right now a passive. Make it like a talent that you get to pick up, and then maneuver our talents around. So like that could essentially become like its own passive mechanic of you just roll the bones whenever it's off cooldown, and you get to carry off whatever buffs you have into the next roll. And it's all just about pressing the button whenever it's up, right? You can still have that like the buff mechanic and have them be like pretty impactful, because I like the cooldown reduction and all these things, right? Being able to go for big cooldown reduction and go for a bunch of grapple hooks because you got a shorter cooldown for those things. That's not the worst. Like there's some benefits out of it. But the decisive part, yeah, the decisive one, it would be nice, right? It would be nice. So like Gauss Charm, I won't really have a ramp up mechanic. Gauss Charm was cool, but it's a ramp up mechanic that's not necessarily good. I'd rather be able to like, I need cooldowns now, press a button, I have my cooldowns and I'm doing the most amount of damage in a window where I need it, right? I think that'll be a little bit better. Bring back combat and make out like you're a talent. Technically they could, right? Technically they could, right? I don't really necessarily want combat to come back because I feel like I like Outlaw, but like I generally do like Outlaw. I just think they need to find like a middle ground where Outlaw just cannot be like this roll the bones bot the entire time. You can't just like initial version of Outlaw where you just kept roll the bones until you got a good set of buffs. Was not great because you just spend the entire time reroll. Okay, now I have a good set of buffs. Now I can actually play the game. That wasn't great. What they got with it right now is when you just roll and you just play and you reroll whenever it's up. Sometimes if you need to. I think that's better. So they're taking the steps in terms of making it a little bit less like harder to manage. But like the fact that you have to manage roll the bones, crack shot windows with vanishes, and all those cooldowns that you have to basically use on cooldown as much as possible at all times. You can't like bank them and use them until the right moment, like a assassination rogue with his death mark, or subtlety rogue with his shadow blades, right? Knowing when to use shadow blades specifically. For having like this pacing that even subtlety has with like dance windows, and then you just gotta have a cooldown where you're just like backstabbing and spending combo points on finishers. like having that window of damage, then you're just chilling. Window, you know, outlets kind of like constantly go, firing all cylinders, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think like at this point we could find like a middle ground, right? All right, we've had an expansion where we've done this for a good bit. Let's find a middle ground. About the time. One day, get Cannibal Barrage again. That's what rogues were talking about in the Rogue Discord the other week. Is like, why isn't Cannibal Barrage back in the game? That could have been a talent or something. Make it an ability or something, right? Bring it back one way or another. Somewhere real like Windwalker, but I think the hits need to sound more meaty when they connect. Animations are a bit more vicious. I do, yeah. Yeah. For Windwalkers, I do think like you probably could use a bit of a animation rework a bit. I like the whole kicks and punches and flips, but like, yeah, some of the, I feel like you could definitely create quite a bit more joy out of it when the animations could be updated a bit more. Kind of like how Fury Warriors right now, like when Fury Warriors of like classic WoW animations versus like the Legion rework for them, right? Where they rampage, where they're just like swinging the weapons in every direction, the sound that it makes. I mean, it's really, really good. They did a good job there. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think at some point it'd be cool to see like little animational reworks like that and even sound reworks. I don't disagree with that either. Galstrom coming back to SL. Galstrom was like a... It was okay. I don't think a ramp up mechanic is good in a lot of the cases, unless it's like super like... The only time I think ramp up mechanic was like kinda used because it was super effective was when Shadow Priests were I guess the playstyle they had back in BFA, right? They had that playstyle where they would ramp up into their form, right? And then they get out of the form, and then they would, based on the form that they were in, they were able to get a crit buff, and they would basically get out of form and then back into form with that crit buff and try to last as long as possible. And essentially every other time they got into form, it was you were in form for longer and longer and longer, and you were just kind of ramping in damage throughout the entire encounter. That one I think worked because of the raw damage that I had behind it. So players played around the mechanic specifically. I played Lost Ark a bit and release, and I played a Striker on all the animations. It was insane. Yeah, I think a class with fantastic sound and animations can really juice up the enjoyment of it by a lot. I think Lost Ark PvP Time to Kill was the best I've ever seen. I didn't play Lost Ark, so I'm not 100% like on the Time to Kill. I think how it is now, but I played shortly after launch. Okay. Yeah. I think WoW definitely needs to take like... I feel like if a game, especially when the game does PvP, right? And if they do it successfully, because remember Lost Ark was pretty popular. I don't know if Lost Ark still is popular by current measure, but when it initially launched, like people were having a lot of fun with the PvP side of things. And that was up, buddy. Hey, my man. Hope you're having a good one. Hope you're doing good, my man. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like Blizz, whatever they do in the future. Like, if you see a game do something right, take notes. I think that's one thing that Blizz needs to do well going forward is, like, if a game is doing something right, just take notes. Just take notes and see if you can find some way to implement that kind of, like, a feel or whatever it does right into WoW. Because if you're like WoW PvP, they've kind of went back and forth of, like, what they wanted to do with it. And I think they've never really settled, and they're still trying new stuff. Going into this expansion war within, they're still trying even more stuff. Doing good. Frostiki not playable. Like, oh my god, it's nice. It's not playable? What do you mean it's not playable? What do you mean it's not playable? What are you talking about? Now playable. Oh yeah, now it's very playable. Oh yeah, it's popping off, man. But you're playing like the current pre-patch, or if you're playing on beta with a dual wheel build, it is awesome. It is a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. Definitely is one of those classes, like, if you're gonna main a Death Knight, Frost definitely should be on your radar. Unholy is also really good too, but yeah, I missed it. Yeah, it's so good. Technically, like, Frost was doable last season and this season of, well, I guess last season of Dragonflight. It was kind of okay too. But yeah, Death Knights are back in like full swing. The two-handed is better. Two-handed is better right now on pre-patch. Unless you mean beta, because of the passive it gets. If you, like, I think the reason why two-handed is good right now in the beta, I'm pretty sure it's because of the legendary. Or in pre-patch, is because of the Lego, right? You know, the Furlath Lego, that's pretty solid. But pre-patch, What I've seen for the most part on the beta is mostly people going dual wield, because there's like quite a bit of valuable new capstone challenge that you got with dual wield, and it seems to be the more preferred way. I think two hand is still going to be fine. It's just everybody in the mod seems to be playing that dual wield for the auto attacks and the crit chance with the frontal, like the, what's it called? Not snowdrift, it's something else. Take the passive if you want. Oh, you mean for the obliterate? Yeah, like the obliteration damage. Yeah. I was just trying to figure out if you were talking about like pre-patch or the beta, because in beta it's mostly like dual wield gameplay, dual wield gamers. On StreamDB, Lost Ark is running around 25k right now, and 29k people, 24 peak on StreamDB. Is that popular, or is that not popular? Because every game is like, because I don't really know like what make. Because that actually may be very, very healthy numbers for a game like that, though. But I have no idea. I have no clue, honestly, Brago. But they broke me from a main early in you to hitting that Shaman, dude, yeah! Last time you could maybe even slightly enjoy two-handed Shaman, even slightly, just a fraction of the raw power, was in Pandaria, where there was actually like this one agility mace you could get that enhanced Shamans could equip, and you would run around in PvP at the very least, and you would be able to use this mace to go for the big zaps with Ascendants, with Storm Strikes, or Wind Strikes at the time. But yeah, you would basically just like tase people from a mile away and just one shot up with it. It was so good. That was like the last time that enhancement two-handed was like playable. Definitely, it's like pales in comparisons to the Cataclysm version of it, right? Or older expansion version of the enhancement, but that's like the last time in most recent expansions that it was like doable. It was so fun. Yeah, Mop Enhance was a lot of fun. I think at some point people started seeing like the clips of people running around, like in the early Twitch, like really early stream days, like when Soda Poppin was just like on the rise back in MLP. I think people started seeing like clips of Enhanced Shamans running around on YouTube. Everybody made one. Everybody made an Enhanced Shaman because it was one of those classes where every button you hit did a lot of damage just because. Yeah, Lost Ark is sadly a pay-to-win cash grab grinder with barely any group play, which is why I jumped ship early. Still enjoy my time thanks to the bombastic animations. I mean, that is... I mean, if that is one thing that people like really like about the game, that's really good, honestly. Like, if it's... The game may not be perfect, right? But like, if you could at least appreciate the animations, they did something right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had no idea about the whole like pay-to-win stuff with Lost Ark. I did not keep up with that game at all. All I had is like a buddy of mine, Tass, who was like a hunter for our guild. He's currently in a different guild right now, but he was really excited about Lost Ark. Like, he was hyping that game up for a good bit. And then as soon as it came out, he kind of dropped WoW for a good bit and just played Lost Ark. And then he returned back to WoW, I think, when he got banned from Lost Ark. But like, he basically provided like all the receipts he posted on like the forum post, because he was he got banned because I think he got either reported by somebody for something, or the GM banned him for like some... Essentially, he was doing something that was like very normal in the game. I need to find the post again to get any more details, but essentially he was doing something that was normal. I think it was like something about... He was trying to sell some kind of an item, and it was like... I don't remember. I feel like I feel like I should just end right here. But essentially, if my memory serves me correct, and maybe it's wrong at this point, he was doing something like normal in game, and he got lucky on some RNG drop or something, and then he got banned for it because they couldn't explain how he got lucky on some kind of an RNG drop or something. And essentially, he got stonewalled, and whoever's GM person was... I mean, it was through Amazon, right? So they weren't like super helpful or professional. So he was like, F this. I have no idea. I wish I... It was like, I just remember like not keeping up with the game at all. And then he came out with all that stuff and I read it and I thought, oh, wow, that does seem kind of like BS. But like, it's not like I remember exactly what happened. Hey, make a cool shovel, what the hell? But this set, it's pretty neat. Let me show you the actual mug. It has the Asia concept of endless upgrading gear with a 1.34% chance you'll have to grind again for a chance. Wait, so like if you fail the item, do you have to like, that's over, the item is gone kind of situation? Like, is this like Black Desert kind of stuff going on? Or what are we looking at here? You know what I mean? What are we looking at here? Oh, that in a second. But the items I have is going to be a dazzling spectacles for glasses, ornate black dragon labware mantle, which is like the I think it's the story quest line with the Niffin, with the Neltharion stuff in the what is it, season 2, right? The Blood Hunter harness for the, I mean, the back is just the Ruby Wings of Awakening. I think it's like the pre-order thing. Fire Plume, Flame Wraps, which is the gloves, which are also part of like the shop mog. You could probably get something that kind of fits it a little bit better, so you don't have to do like the shop stuff, honestly, like the back piece and the gloves. You do something different. Court Inquisitor Sash, which is the Shadowlands thing. Suffused Greaves, which is just like the season 2 open world or PvP items. And then for boots, I also have the Fire Plume Challenge, which is also the shop thing. And then the shields. I just got a shield that kind of matches the set. It's like season 2 shield. The Experiment 1 Kite Wing. And then the No Flail, which is a really fun weapon. That's essentially the mug. Once combat ever comes back, I'm going back to Rogue. Yeah? Okay. I don't know if that will happen anytime soon, but maybe one day. Maybe one day. Redskin Wings, how the hell do you make red wings and one the Shaman? Redskin, all you have to do is do like the, there's a quest line for Eridude, Draenei, like the demonic Draenei. Every Draenei character, I think actually Alliance and Horde, all you have to do is go to Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and there should be an NPC if you haven't done the quest line. And essentially you do the quest line, and then you unlock the red skin for the normal Draenei, the Eridude Draenei. The wings, I think, are the pre-order thing, the pre-order bonus for Dragonflight. Which are like these dragon wings. You could do some other wings if you don't want to use those. But yeah. Let's go play classic. That could work too, yeah. That could work too. It's a 5-minute quest line. Yeah, it's not that long of a quest line. I'm pretty sure you should get like a quest, like once you arrive to Stormwind or Orgrimmar. It's like champion. Valen needs some and you basically go to like Argus for a bit and do a quest line with Valen and the broken Draenei, and this like demonic Draenei join you, and then Valen accepts them, and now you can do Redskin. Need that Redskin for Oryx too? True. Except for DF, you are correct. Yeah. I couldn't remember it. I was trying to search the back of my mind. Do you have any info about Mage Shower being way harder than it is after pre-patch? I have not really tried it, Stoic. I have not tried the Mage Shower after the pre-patch. Well, actually, no, I did a little bit on the beta. I was doing like the Warrior one. The Warrior one, I actually saw that they removed one of the mechanics for the Warrior, which is the Xylem Challenge, the Armed Warrior one. Which is like the wizard that goes from like Frosty and Shadow abilities or whatever. They actually removed like the whole like wall of ice mechanic from around him. I was able to get the part 1 done just fine. You need to switch challenge to go into full single target build for part 2. I didn't do that, but I got pretty close to killing him. So just from the Arms Warrior challenge, didn't seem to be that much harder. I don't know about any of the other challenges though. I have no idea. I assume they're probably going to be maybe potentially harder or not. Actually, no. Are they going to be harder? I feel like if they let you use your hero talents in these, I imagine they should be a little bit easier because you should have a little bit extra additional power once you hit max level. But I'm not 100%. It's freaking impossible. Is it actually? Like, none of them are doable? Like, at all? What's the... I guess we could try and do it, right? What's the Ellie Shaman one? Is that the... What's her face? The Imp Mother, isn't it? Earth. I could try seeing if I could do the Imp Mother as Elemental Shaman. This one casting you're dead. Is it actually that bad? Holy, is it pre-patch scaling? Hold on a second. It has it right now, they're not that much harder right now. Are they not? Is another Shaman the Tauren? I don't think so. I think the Ellie Shaman is the Imp Mother for Ellie, the Healer Challenge for Resto, and the Valajar is the Odin Halls of Valor one. the vehicle one. We have like Sigrun. Sigrun, is that her name? Sigrun? I think it's Sigrun. Is it Sigrun? I'm kind of guessing here. No, at least Shaman's name. Mother. Yeah. Thumbs up. Beta. Oh, you're right. Oh, hold on a second. Okay. We'll abandon this for now. Realms are up. Do they have a blue post? Hold on a second. Thank you for letting me know. Hey, hold on a moment. Okay. I'll log into this later. I got stuff to do. Hold on. We'll switch out. Go to here. See what's all new. Question is, do they have a blue post for any of these? World of Warcraft. Let me see if they have a forum post on any of these. Because they have hotfixes, but like I don't think they have anything new, do they? Development notes? No development notes. What was it? Some of the classes? It was a monk that got buffed up, right? Let's take a look at monk real quick. It'll be a nerds, a buzz, or maybe some reworks. Most likely tuning at this point. I don't think they'll be doing like crazy reworks, but it looks like they tuned up the monk recently, the Shadowpan, the legendary blue post. Nothing yet. No, nothing yet on the blue post. Mage towers all over the place, and people use old trinkets and green quest reward weapons. Yeah. Mage tower, it's a time walking thing, so you can't technically use older expansion items to get some of these things done. It is interesting. Some people don't like that at all, like the fact that you can use all these items. I don't actually necessarily hate it. I don't necessarily hate the fact that you can use older items. I think it gives players like an alternative way to gear for it, and I don't think that's bad, right? It means like, yeah, you can go like kill Farak and kill like, you know, some of the endgame bosses on highest difficulty of current expansion, but like you don't necessarily have to. Also, I got this mount. What do you guys think? It's pretty cool, huh? I like it a lot. Shadowpan, did they buff it? Yeah, 300 energy instead of 400 energy, so you should be able to use this. Yeah, that is in. Oh, that is in. I do want to see what else they got in this blue post, if they ever release one, but they did buff it, and there's a new icon with it. Interesting. Cool. I wonder if they did any bug fixes too. But for now, we don't really have a full-on set of blue posts yet, but I am interested to see what else they got. If they nerfed anything like really badly. I wonder though. Am I getting any more procs? Is the question. I think I am. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so it stacks up very quickly still. At least in AoE. Which is not the worst. I wonder how it's going to be overall though. Also the upside more wisdom of the wall too. Shaman now has 4 wolves. You could summon a bunch of them, yeah. You just gotta summon them through procs though. As totemic primarily. Did I just cancel my own spin and crane kick? That seems unusual. But you can summon a bunch of them, yeah. That's not really that new though. It's not really a talent either. It's just like a proc. But they do get to cycle through them very quickly though. I think it's like every time you use Tempest, you summon one. If you get a bunch of Tempest procs, you can do quite a lot. Hold on a second. That is significant amount of damage. Holy. Ha. Look at that, chat. Wow. That is new. I don't remember that doing that much damage. So this is from one of their capsules that got buffed up recently. So the way the flurry strikes works for monks, just to explain this, why it's like, significant. Every bit of damage you do, which kind of scales with your attack power, you generate a flurry charge. And every time you spend 300 energy, you get to unleash all of those flurry charges, doing physical damage per charge. There's quite a lot more damage than before them. Quite a lot more damage than before. Every time you unleash 10 flurry charges, which is usually pretty easy to stack up, by the time you have to spend 300 energy, you almost have all 10 of them every single time. Wisdom of the Wall gets a proc. Every 10 flurry strikes, you get one of the buffs. It's then either going to be a critical strike damage increased by 30%, dodge and crit chance increased by 25% of your versatility. Flurry strikes deals shadow damage to all uncontrolled enemies within 6 yards. So that one is actually really strong, because that actually can make it do quite a significant bit of damage. Like normal flurry strikes, nothing crazy, right? All those charges at once, not biggie. But this right here, this hit, oh, that is sizable. That is noticeable. And that's just 4 targets. That's like to all of them, right? To all uncontrolled enemies. So I guess it's like, yeah, everything should just get cleaned for a ton. This could do you a lot of damage. And then effect the other increases mastery. And essentially you basically are just trying to spend as much energy as you can to get this flurry strike proc, so you can get more buffs from your capstones. And they're up for 20 seconds each. And I think they'll cycle too. Like you always should have one available at all times. Yeah, in that time I spend about like 51% of the time with that buff. With Wisdom of the Wall. 25% uptime here. Out of a 2-minute window. Yeah, so it's like you're actually spending quite a lot of time in that Wisdom of the Wall window. Wowhead has changes. They have like a data mine post, but not like an official blue post or anything like that. I'm sure that'll be like linked in a little bit. Because sometimes the data mine stuff only contains like a portion of changes, but not all of them yet. But not all of them. I do want to mess around with Rogue. I want to see if Rogues is still busted. Because Rogues have been kind of busted for a couple of weeks now. You guys want to see some Rogue gameplay? Some Assassination Rogue gameplay specifically? Or would you guys rather see monks? Because I kind of want to do Rogue. Kind of want to play Rogue, yeah. Mr. Tirana? I could probably do Tirana. Sub, Assas, Rogue. A sub? I'll probably do Assas over sub, honestly. We'll see if we got any more keys out in a bit. What else? I love some sub. Yeah, sub is a little bit on a weird spot. It's the damage for it. I feel like if they fix, actually, I guess we can go and see if Trickster works still, if it still has an animation lock. If they fix Trickster for sub, then I think all problems are solved and you can easily play sub, because it has this like unique single target cleave play style to it. And then I think that'll give it like a lot of a better profile in Mythic Plus in particular. But yeah, let me try this real quick. I want to see if this is still like animation lock soon. Did they buff any of these? I can't really tell. Because Rogues didn't really get anything new, did we? But we can go and see if we can build up stacks of phased. I need one more stack. And we'll find out if we're animation locked. I just see it just like proc. Or reset or whatever. You don't enjoy sub? It's alright, it's just really... Because you can play it as Deathstalker, but it just kind of loses a lot of its value because it makes you want to play... You want to spam Black Powder as much as possible, but it makes you want to press single target damage abilities, which I guess kind of sort of works, but it's like, it's just not ideal. Trickster would be ideal because of the cleave element that it has with Nimble Flurry, where your single target abilities cleave things for 50% of their damage. So this would be actually super ideal if they're you're getting you to play more of a single target gameplay. But Coup de Grace has an animation lock and it's super uncomfortable to deal with. Moment of truth. Yep, still animation lock. Still animation lock. It looks like they changed the animation for it a little bit. But during coup de grace, you are still animation locked. And the damage is not great. Like, it's okay. I guess for a single ability. Compared to like 3 eviscerates. You know what I mean? Like 3 eviscerates without even the shadow component. 3 eviscerates do more damage than a coup de grace. And that thing puts you like at 2 globals of animation lock. That would have been a great situation where you could just shadow strike and eviscerate. You know, it's so close to being good. It is so close. But assassination, but subtlety, if anything, is really good in single target, like in raids. I feel like I like it better there than in AoE. All I was gonna say is that I'm happy about Black Eyes for the Night Elves. Oh, you mean like for the Vengeance eyes that they got? Yeah, yeah, those are really cool looking. I like them lots. They're very good. Very good. 13. Whoa. Now that's a big boy key. Let's see if we can scoop into a quick tier real quick. Slide right in. I don't think I'll do. Well, good try. They're probably waiting for Nog though. I assume they're probably just gonna wait for Nog. I should just sign up anyway. I'll wait to see if this DPS spot opens up. Go for it. Should I just try it? I guess it doesn't hurt, does it? Well, they tried dodging everything in the dungeon is gonna hurt. But everything else should work out okay. We got a group. But yeah, let me show you a bit of a preview of what Assassination can do with its like current AoE setup. It is wacky to say the least. Also, I love the animation of this thing. I just wish like the hull would close, because otherwise like you can see the character staring down the ground as you're flying forward. I feel like that looks a little silly, but there should probably be like a hull that closes or something whenever you're flying around. Maybe even if they just put like a window or something, that would look cool too. Do Assassination only see the Kingsbane changes? I don't think they really changed anything about Kingsbane, did they? I don't think they did. Is data mining just a background spell change? So Kingsbane apparently changed in today's data mining. You're just a background spell change nonsense. We don't know exactly what it does, but maybe fixes a bug. Stop asking, please. Yeah, so on Rogue Discord, everybody apparently has asked poor Whisper about it. Poor Whisper. Everybody hit him up. What does it mean? He's like, we don't know. Stop. Alright, let's keep this thing still a little bit. Going around the knows. Yeah, so if Whisper doesn't know, nobody knows. If Whisper doesn't know, nobody knows. Also, leave Whisper alone. He's doing God's work out here. He's doing God's work out here, man. Alrighty. Let's see how we do. You guys see the hit? You guys see it earlier? Hold on, let me see if I can do it again. There we go. Yeah, so you can do quite a bit of damage as assassination right now. Things hit hard. Things hit plenty hard. Cosmic Spatter does a lot. This is still bugged, isn't it? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, that should... I'm pretty sure it's bugged. Yeah. Yeah, assassination gets benefits right now. Not ethical benefits, but benefits regardless. How many common points you got? Been a while since I played Rogue. So they've for over the last few expansions, You went from having 5 common points to 6 common points with a talent of Deeper Stratagem. That's been a talent for the last couple of expansions, so you're running around with 6 common points. But this last few expansions, especially Dragonflight, introduced a 7th common point for Subtlety and Outlaw, and only now they're getting around to giving a 7th common point for Assassination. So you have Deeper Strat, Singman Strat, so you have 7 common points. 7 common points allows you to have a longer lasting rupture, but it doesn't necessarily... Well, each talent will improve the damage of finishers, but adding more common points into rupture doesn't make it do more damage. It just gives you like a longer stretch of where it can do its damage. Envenom does do more damage though, so Venom does actually have some scaling to it, and uptime of it also gets a little higher. So like you still are kind of sort of rewarded for consuming common points at like max, but you don't necessarily need to over generate common points to hit up max. So like at 5, 6, and 7, perfectly fine to use a finisher there, if that makes any sense. 7th because Deeper Strategy of the not. Yep. Common points getting hit by inflation. Reptile, true. It's more common points, but you don't necessarily get more value out of it. If anything, think of it like as a way to make sure that you don't over generate common points, right? It's like an extra additional like space so that you don't overfill your bucket, right? You just get like a little bit deeper bucket so you don't get to overfill it. Or rather, it's almost like a guard for your bucket that doesn't necessarily increase the effectiveness of it, but just if you end up grabbing too much water with that bucket, you don't waste that water. I guess the best way to put it, right? I guess the best way to put it. But yeah, it is kind of sort of useful for Outlight, say more than anything, because Outlight has a direct synergy and conversion of common points into cooldown. So common points is not only a damage increase, but also common points is better cooldown reduction. So they actually benefited from it pretty regularly. Another one that kind of benefits from it to a degree is Sub. Just because Eviscerates hit harder and Secret Techniques hit harder. That being said, you also have cooldown reduction, so it's more about like not over generating common points, but rather spending them. There is a mechanic with Deathstalker that does allow you to like max out on common points, and it's like less punishing to do so. Because essentially, after you can basically you attack an enemy, you mark them, you use finishers, you take away charges of mark per finisher, and then your next max common point in Venom is going to be a guaranteed crit, deals 60% more damage, and reapplies those marks immediately. So you do have moments where you'll want to like cap out on common points just to send that big fatty Envenom in. So I'm credit card for Facility Energy Refill. True, exactly, yeah. So I'm credit card for Facility, that's true. Dude, imagine if they sold Thistletea on the Blizz store. Dude, imagine the game could be totally pay to win. Imagine if they just sold Thistleteas on the game store and you could never get them anywhere. Wasn't a talent, wasn't anything like that. Imagine. But yeah, with all this said, like Envenoms and Kingsbanes are going to do a lot of damage in terms of the caustic spatter. This gives Assassination a very aggressive funnel type of gameplay where you can focus on like whoever's the scariest mob in the group. And then you cleave everything around you with Garrotes, Ruptures, and Crimson Tempest. It is kind of nice. It is very, very bursty. It's pretty fun. Pretty sure talents like this still don't work, right? Yeah. Fatal Intent still not fixed. It still does literally 0 damage. Damaging enemies above 20% health has a high chance to grab Fatal Intent. It's a buff that you get to stack up on an enemy, right? Dealing damage has a chance to stack up Fatal Intent. Where once they drop below 20% health, you'll do them 0 damage per stack. Fun. Exciting. Whew. You know what I mean? That's where I'm like, dude, rogues are fine. We just need like actual like fixes. Please, fix me. Fix me, Blizzard. Literally 0 damage. It does nothing. That's all I'm asking for, man. Can we just have abilities that do something instead of do nothing? Imagine you had to refill a Crimson Vials. Imagine, dude. You know what? I actually would not have hated that from like a RPG perspective of like, you know how hunters had to go and refill their ammo? It'd be really annoying. I think it'd be annoying from a gameplay perspective, like the actual like end game raiding of dungeons and managing your character and like all that. But like from a fantasy perspective, having to visit the apothecary to refill your vials would not be the worst. Like if you were leveling, right? Before you're out on a leveling adventure, it'd be kind of like Dark Souls, right? Essentially they're like Estus Flask for you. Essentially they're just like Estus Flask. right? If there was like some kind of like a hardcore leveling mode for WoW, and like as a rogue, you had to have a mechanic where you had to refill your health pots because you only have so many of them, and they essentially are like a Dark Souls Estus flasks, and the content and the gameplay of like leveling was like super challenging, but like you got a cool reward out of it, I wouldn't hate it. I'm just gonna say it right here. I wouldn't hate it. Just as long as you don't make it a mechanic for raids and dungeons or PvP. If it's like a hardcore leveling challenge, I wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it. It's actually not mine seeing some hunter ammo, but some people would flood the forums. Yeah, like, okay, so if they added like hunter ammo, but like it's a leveling challenge for hunters, right? Something you have to maintain and manage resources or whatever, right? I think it'd be neat. Got order to see a player maidenless. It was Dark Souls or Elden Ring. That'd be hilarious, dude. Yeah, everybody would be maidenless. Yeah, I do think that like it's a little charm that was lost from WoW when they removed like the hunter ammo thing, right? Like the charm, like the first time you're playing a character, right? It feels like you're really first time you're playing WoW. When you go to a town, right? You got food for your pet to make sure he has food for the trip, for the adventure. You got hunter ammo, you know, arrows, bullets, whatever weapon you got, right? You got all the supplies, maybe a couple of healing potions you should buy, or maybe craft after buying some stuff you need from herbalist or local auction house, right? It really gives a whole like feeling of, take away like the WoW leveling in the end game and like you played the game for years. Imagine the first time you're doing it. It would feel like you're about to go in this big open world and you're literally loading yourself up to have an adventure, right? From that angle, I think it's a lot of that charm from WoW that is lost. But it's lost not from like because they did remove it, but also it is lost just from playing the game long enough, right? Players will find the fastest shortcuts and it becomes less of an adventure, but rather it becomes like, okay, how much XP can you earn an hour? Instead of like, here's a quest and I want to focus on doing that quest kind of deal, right? And like really take it through and let it be a journey, right? I think the players, like the mindset about the game has changed a lot throughout expansions, where it's like numbers are a lot more important than just like having fun and going on a journey and just letting yourself be immersed. If you're going full meaningless, then I want my monk to go and I give him and I give my friends like a dodge sub tank suck. That's true. That's a lot of it, but taking those RPG aspects, for example, the way you had to buy the spells and upgrade them. Yeah, when we talk about another game about since forever, no longer about leveling. Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing though, because I mean, nobody really plays WoW for like the leveling, right? A lot of people do play the game, even like when it comes to the classic environment. Like some people are gonna play it for the journey, but for a lot of people, they're just trying to get the dungeons done, get their best in gear, raid rag, right? Do some what are those called? The GDKP runs, right? Like people end up playing the game for very different reasons. And I think they essentially did end up adjusting the game to the audience. Or I guess another way to think about it is maybe there was an audience for just like the adventure of it all, but then they changed the game so much that those people don't longer like vibe with the game. But essentially, like most people that play WoW don't play it for those reasons at all. Then again, I don't know if those like RPG mechanics necessarily also work well in a game that is like an MMO either. They can, but like those kind of mechanics in like a Baldur's Gate, perfect. It's a single player game, right? It's all about the adventure. It's all about the story. It is handcrafted in that regard specifically. But an MMO is experienced by multiple people with different like play styles all at once at the same time. So for them to like streamline it, I guess it makes sense at the time. I do wonder if there was like a alternate universe where they didn't remove those RPG mechanics and they kept them and they were like done right. Because I wonder if like those unique things could have still stayed in the game, but they could have maybe made it like a class quest or something, right? For hunters, right? Your first time you're leveling a character, right? You grab a bow and you have to get arrows or whatever, and then you hit a certain level, and then you do a class quest, and you no longer need arrows, right? So maybe make it like something that you can like upgrade your character throughout over time or whatever, right? Something like that. I don't know, just something where you can keep a little bit of that charm without completely gutting it, but also not keeping that charm to like could affect the gameplay in adverse ways. Because if rogues literally had to go to town to get their sippy cups again every single time you had to do a dungeon or PvP or anything, it would be kind of annoying, right? Having to go back and do all those things every single time. But yeah, that charm is gone. I do wonder if there's like some way they could reintegrate it, but I don't really know if like it could exist in modern WoW, even in older WoWs, right? Like it still exists, but most people try to like bypass it as best as they can to a degree, you know? I feel like it should be its own mode. Maybe I feel like in WoW they could totally make it its own like game mode or whatever, right? So WoW could feel more like a RPG in a way, but yeah. I don't know. That is a thought that I had a while ago. And that's essentially that whole culmination of those thoughts before. For example, 100 ammo does not need to cost so much. Yeah, something like that for sure. Just thought somebody was forgetting and plus having to port back the raid gives me a chuckle. Yeah. Yeah, something like that I feel like could be fine, honestly. And like as long as it didn't actually take like a spot in your inventory, but it's just like you just have to make sure you're good to go, right? Or whatever. Right, you log in the game, buy ammo, make sure you fill up, and you're good to go, right? Little things like that. I don't think it would be the worst thing ever either. I think it would be in a way to like kind of like have a passive gold sink too, right? Hunters having to grab their ammo, whatever. Rogues having to fill up on the flasks or whatever. Wouldn't be the worst. And plus, it would give like going back to a town more of a purpose besides just like I was the hub of the auction house. You know what I mean? You'd be able to go. It's kind of like when you used to go to like Legion Dalaran and you would go to your order hall because there was like a lot of these different like things you could do in order hall specifically, right? They found a way to give that place a bit of a purpose to it, you know, like a hangout spot, and you can meet other people that are of your class or whatever, right? I think something like that could be cool, you know. But I don't know. I feel like at this point, for War with it specifically, that's something they should not definitely concern themselves with. But maybe like for Midnight or next expansion after, something like that could potentially return. You know? Maybe. This guy's saying like, yo, where the healers at, dude? Where are healers at, actually? Turn aside, it should be a prime key. Everybody should want to hop in on that. What else is happening? Weekly Catch being in the order hall was fun. Yeah, kind of. Seeing everyone drop legendaries for the cast. Yeah, dude, everybody were getting the Legos. Everybody were hanging out in one spot. That is true. Yeah, people were showing up the Legos. People hanging out by the dummies or whatever. DPS racing one another. People exchanging builds, hanging out. Just like it was like a hub, right? It was really, really cool. And I think they did it pretty well. It was like a way to integrate like a hub where other players of the same class could hang out in or whatever. Warlocks could use that one port in order to try to see if they can get their Destro weapon, the hidden skin or whatever. People would just summon rituals, create a Doomguard, kill it, and somebody would potentially have a chance to loot the hidden skin or whatever. So that was happening pretty regularly. Yeah, it was really cool. I wonder like if not like ammo or like, you know, all that stuff, like the full-on D&D RPG old school mechanics, if not all of those come back. But I wonder if like they could still add like those charming things like the order halls and Legion. Not necessarily literally order halls, but like that type of a feel, that type of like a thing, a hub, an area, something along those lines. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool to see. Is that the build he's playing? Actually, I'm gonna copy the build. I feel like I can never find a good Affliction build to test out Soul Harvester, and I've been trying to make Soul Harvester work forever, man. I have not been able to at all. I wonder if I can see his damage here. Or if it'll let me. Normally it like shows up everybody else around you that's also DPSing. But I don't think it's letting me. I really want to try to see if I can make Soul Harvester. He got 3 of them? Oh, I guess he did go, what is it? Big AoE, didn't he? His shared fate. I thought maybe Feast of Souls would be better. His Shadow Bolt too, with Withering Bolt. Like, I really want to try this. Maybe that'll be like the build. Maybe that'll work really, really well. Where'd he go? Oh, he's over here. Let's see his stats too. Is of a it's like haste heavy, haste mastery by the looks of it. Okay, so my warlock is set up for that too. They're fully kitted out too. If we were to lose in War Within, the classes huddling in their own corners of the world to distribute forces against the void would be the perfect excuse for the host returning. I don't disagree with that. That would be cool, yeah. That'd be cool. Because like rogues can technically go anywhere, right? Dalaran is destroyed, so mages could maybe get some kind of like an Order of Tyrus fall together again. That'd be kind of cool. Warlocks could go off to another like abandoned world infested by demons or whatever. Monks always have the turtle they can go back to. Warriors can go back, I think, to Hall of Valor or really anywhere. Paladins still have that what is it, the Sanctum. Priests still have that spaceship in Twisting Nether, so they always could go back to that. So that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I wonder if I don't know if they'll do that initially. I think honestly what they'll do for Midnight is they'll probably be binding together like the good forces of the Void. So like Locust Walker, for example, and Alaria together, maybe with the light, like with the Light for Junai and all of them. It'll probably be like two camps that you'll be joining, like the Light and the Void, to fight off against old gods or something. For all we know, I'm sure they'll have some in. What is it regarding the whole, we'll see because I feel like when it comes to like people talking about oh hey Sally, how you doing, man? Hey guy, how you doing? I'm trying to get a key done. Hopefully we'll get a heal at some point. I hope you're doing good. But like every time people talked about like, oh, what would a Light versus the Void expansion look like, I think everybody always thought of like we'd be able to pick sides, pick the Light, pick the Void, get like some abilities from either one or whatever. And I wonder if that's the direction they're gonna go with Midnight, because I feel like that could be kind of cool. Just give hunters and rogues a quicker rogues a potion belt and poison vials. At the very least, I think it'd be cool if that was like something you could just like have on your character, right? Like as a hunter, if let's say you have a bow, you just got a free quiver. So at least for the looks of it, or you could customize it, right? You could have like a quiver that's like on your back, or maybe a quiver that's like kind of like on your hip or whatever, right? I think that'd be cool for like customization options and purposes. I think that'd be neat. Does this guy also a... No, he's just a Hellcaller. I was thinking maybe there's gonna be more Harvesters. Dude, we need a healer. We really need a healer. I want to do a key. I just want to do a dungeon. It's a Tyrna, man. How are we having a hard time finding a healer in a Tyrna Sai of all the dungeons? Why are we struggling with this? Also, this thing makes a lot of noise, by the way. Makes a ton of noise for one reason or another. Especially when it's running. You guys can barely hear. Actually, I think they made it a little bit less loud. Nope, it's still very loud. Never mind. It's louder for me. Not as loud for you guys, though. God, it's really noisy. Just the jumps. Just the jumps. I do like some of the animations that they got going on, though. Except you can't really see a lot of them because a lot of them tries to transition to like fall animation into a flight animation really rapidly because of the dragon riding or sky riding. What do we call it now? I got a hearts. They're doing a heart strike in FF14. They're mad because holy paladins are nerfed. But what? They're doing a healer strike in FF14. They're mad because holy paladins are nerfed. Huh? What do you mean? What does that mean? What is that combination of words even supposed to mean? I don't understand. Or healer strike like in Final Fantasy 14. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I see what you mean now. I was like, what the hell? Blue post? The hotfix is for pre-patch, but not a blue post. City of Flight should no longer be removed after entering arena. Tune the prototype Strider I-4 to be completed. Radiant Echoes. Reduce HP scaling of all event bosses so they can be killed with a more reasonable time frame. Oh, mini bosses got nerfed in Radiant Echoes. Nice. These flystones that upgrade crests drop rates from the event. Awesome. I like that. Alt leveling is going to be better. You're tired, bro. I am tired too, man. I am tired. Dealing with this foot thing and not being able to walk around the house, it's dealing with that. I'm just like on pain meds the entire time, man. Yeah, I am tired. And why did they do a healer strike at FF14? I don't even know that was a thing. Drops super fast in a pre-patch. Yeah, apparently they made the bosses scale better. So like they don't, yeah, they're supposed to be nuked really quickly. That'd be nice because everybody were just avoiding bosses and mostly doing events. But now I think if bosses die really quickly, those groups that are doing pre-mades are probably going to be doing those bosses a lot more aggressively. That's really cool though. That is nice because people were literally optimizing like Hakar off the table. Nobody does Hakar. Even the like the what is that one in the Ragnaros event in the near the Black Rock Mountain or whatever. That one, there's like the Scalding Brew one, banned. Nobody does it. Hakar, banned. That one is banned. Hogger and Patchwork only if they're low on health. But no, normally people are just either spamming pumpkins, South Shore versus Terra Mill, or gnomes, and that's all they do in circles. So now you can add this boss a little bit easier. It was horrible. The brew, yeah, the brew one is bad, man. They gotta make it so that they gotta make it so that you don't need as many. What they gotta do is they gotta have it scale, right? So like, let's say not a lot of people are interacting with the event. Oh, there you go. We got a healer. Modragosa. That's somebody I know. Phantom? Your name is Phantom? Yeah, get out of here. Phantom. Oh my god, dude. That's hilarious. Yeah, the brew one is, I feel like that one has got to scale. Like, if not a lot of people are doing the events, there's a lot of people to, like, allow players to complete the event individually by taking the brew once, right? Or, like, only a handful of people need to actually complete it. And only a handful of people need to run it for everybody else to get the credit. And, like, more people would just speed run it just to get it out of the way. But you just gotta do so many runs back to back to back to get it done. It is wild. Mr. Tuna Sai. We should be good. They did it because they felt left aside. Hold on. Let me get all my poisons and all that, and I'll read into it. On FF14, they do it because they felt left aside. One of the streamers who is the tank and a warrior kind of solo a dungeon, so healers got mad. Like, did they get mad like as a haha? It's a meme that I'm mad, but I'm not actually mad. Haha! I just do this. What is it? These. Oh, we're doing a boycott, guys. Haha! These guys are soloing everything. Man, they don't need us anymore. Or is it like they actually were legit mad? Is it a meme or is that real? Because like, is it real? I'm just at this point I'm wondering. I can't tell. I can't tell. Alrighty, boys. You guys ready? Hopefully you do a big pull. Oh, finally we got hotfixes. Oh wait, what? Oh, beta got hotfixes. Cool. Got some beta stuff finally. Oh yeah. Look at the damage. Look at the damage, boys. Warlock? Yeah, might as well. Look at that garrotes, dude. Look at them garrotes. Look at them garrotes. Garrote. Garrote, boys. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm getting way too many. It's basically I'm generating way too many procs right now. Wait, I never ambushed him. That's my problem. There we go. Yeah, that damage seems normal, right? That damage seems very normal. Okay, I can stun one of them, so at least he doesn't get too much healing. Yeah, so ASUS is a little cheesy right now. The warrior costing 14. Is a tank, but also is a instrumental damage on self-heal, so yeah, they got really mad. Really? That night too? So did they actually end up changing it? Was it successful then? Was it successful in their endeavors? Is I guess the main question then. That'd be kind of cool if they were. Like if the devs were like, yeah, we hear ya. Hear ya loud and clear, boys. Yeah, 2 million in Venom seems okay. Seems so perfectly normal. Perfectly reasonable number. Uh-oh. I don't have an easy way to deal with the mechanics here, by the way. So it's down to the Warlock and down to the other guys, apparently. Wish it was a little more useful. Yeah, 1.5. No worries, all the same F5 classes are rarely ever nerfed, but remade. So was it just like, was it like a recent boycott or whatever it was? Or is it like, or was it like, they tried it, then nothing really happened? Like, did anything ever come out of it? I feel like I should use my Kingsbane here. I feel like this thing lives forever. Oh, we need a kick. I don't have one. Nice, somebody got it. Gotta get not feared. Well, they changed that a little. Damn. Oh! Okay, that works. Okay, well, it's gonna be the most jank version of burst here for me, but I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna roll with it. Oh yeah, that's really janky. Very janky. Feel the damage somehow. I probably should still go at Kingsbane this thing. Because I feel like otherwise it's gonna live forever. Plus our visage, we'll cloak it. Try to help whatever I can. I think should die here in a bit. There we go. Yeah, I have no good CDs for Ingram Lock at all. In fact, I don't even have a way to put a mark on him, which sucks. Because the mark is on you, isn't it? No, it's gone. Mark is gone. Yeah, so I literally can't use mark on this character at all. I almost feel like I should just get an advantage right now. Well, hold on, I can. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I can. Shows how prepared I am. Okay. That didn't apply bark apparently. All right, cool. I thought Shadow Meld would do it, but not. Apparently not. Also visage, we're gonna get feared. Him immediately. And we don't go too hard. I think I'll try to see if I can get Kingsbane full go on the boss here. When Malak is low. Or Roman is low. Nice. Maybe we actually get some damage in. Okay. That kind of sort of worked. Look at that momentum, dude. 13 million. It hits hard. Except it's bugged. Still streaming? Jeez. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Just for a dungeon. Bug Diabolus needs to come back. Is Diabolus not working? No way! The Diabolus isn't even working! What happened? Did they ruin it? Oh no. Did they kill Diabolus? I think they killed Diabolus, boys. They killed Diabolus. Not the Diabolus. It was so fun. Okay, we'll see what they did in a bit here. Oh, that does feel pretty good though. And recently started some week in the expansion. Dawn Trail came out and the plan to do it on release. I experienced a healer strike. Most tangents took 30 to 1 minute to block. Man, that is I mean that is hell of a cause, right? What a cause. I mean, it's gotta give it credit. The community knows how to organize such a successful strike, right? The community definitely knows how to organize them. Credit where credit is due. Bugs? Is it not working? Oh no! It's actually doing decent damage even though it's bugged. I didn't mean to do that actually. That was a misplay. Alright, well it's a misplay where I'm just kind of bugging. I'm gonna hit this guy, I guess. Alrighty. Destron PvP and all the demos die because of PvE at DKY. Oh, that's kind of fun. Actually, I like the Echo and Repairman move. You like it? Yeah, it's been played for a little bit now as a keep it rolling build. It's pretty fun. It's not as effective now that we're losing our tier set, but it's okay. It's still decent. Am I not in stealth? I guess I'm not. Weird. I had to figure out how I'm targeting there for a second. That is the right guy though. Oh, they got healed. That's not good. Can remove it though. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there's two of them. I didn't even realize. Okay, they all died. I don't even know what happened. Whoa! Look at that! Whoa, Modra Ghosted did some damage. I didn't even realize the healer was bumping. Chat, nobody told me. You guys should have told me that. Whoa, healer's bumping, Dal. What do you mean? That's so good. Well, is he still a Slave Shaper? Is that what they play? Oh no, he's not. He's Where is he actually? Hold on. Where are you? No, Chrono Warden. Interesting. Interesting. Do I want to burn this thing? I'll probably do, right, chat? Yeah, well. Just melt it real quickly. No, probably it's good that I actually burned this thing. Nice. Harry Slay. Or Harris Guy? I got it done wrong completely. I'll post a meme on because I'll post on a meme because it's a point in the meme. Okay, okay. I'll have a bit after this stream, post the Discord. Okay, we'll do. We'll do. Shaper? Okay, well I could kick Shaper, I think. Your chance bugged. Don't know how they were able to bungle that up. Guaffy? That is an option. Mythic Rapture buff big? Did they actually? Hold on a second. I think they buff a Naffy. Alright, chat. We're gonna try to do the most amount of single target damage we can here. You guys ready? We're still pumping. We're still pumping. Okay, Shadow Melt does not do anything for you. That sucks. Should be switching here in a bit. Yeah. Which one is it? It's the only one with a circle.
Holy motherfucking shit!
Don't forget to press that like button.
Thank you so much, Varul. Yeah, boys, press the like button while you're watching. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you. Press the like button for more Baru, man. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you lots. Yeah, it's making pretty fun when you just when you're a little bugged. It's pretty fun when you're a little bugged. She totally can cleave the fox. Wait, did she just cleave the fox with a beam? Or am I wrong about that? Totally look like the bot just cleaved the fox. Still this guy. Penalizing burst, try not to die to that. Okay, we got what is it, King's Ben and everything here in a bit. Yeah, it's definitely giving me way too many calm points right now. Yeah, didn't get enough damage. Sometimes you can pull the boss and you can kill him very quickly. This flower. Or is it? It is. I mean, he can res him, right? But I'm not gonna be able to live. Nice, he resed him. Good. That's everybody. Don't really know if we needed to. I think just Soul Swap is back. Did they actually bring it back? I did not look. No, I did not look at any of these changes at all. I just been kind of dove in immediately. Okay, I look at the heel. Like, yeah, I'll do the video. I'll take a look at it, my guy. I'll do it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have not looked at any of these changes at all, man. I have not looked at any of it at all. I just wanted to play some rogue while it's bugged and buffed and doing nutty damage. I thought we were gonna go Skippy, but okay, we don't have to do Skippy. I thought we were gonna do big Skippy Dippy. I overshot that. Made a mistake. Mistakes were made. Let me gather. Yeah, do thing. I wish I had tricks to trade for this guy, but I don't. I should have talented into it. Oh, I'm afraid. Wish I had a cloak with this as well. Hey, hope you're doing well. What's up, Zach? Playing some rogue while they're strong. Having some fun while we are strong. Not gonna last long though. That is the plight of rogues. Never strong forever too long. Doing good otherwise. How about you? I'm gonna actually take a look at the beta changes this week. Okay. That's very nice of you. I appreciate you being concerned for me. I was okay though. We were vibing. We were chilling, however. Nice. Echo Rogue, yeah, it's a Dow plays a cool class. Not wrong, true, man. I was like so close to playing a cooler class than Rogue for a good bit there. You are not wrong. We're so close, boys. So close to greatness. I got fall. Hated. Poor man. How do you pull these guys though? Okay, well, I'm gonna stun one of them. He's got a hard focus, one of them. I am poisoned, but I think we'll be okay. Actually, looks like we are doing okay on time. We do have 10% that we still need to gather. And I think I'll probably burn cooldowns into this 10% here real quick. Into this pack right now. Did I never replay Mark? Oh, okay, I don't think I did. I can catch a resell for a second. I can. Oh, I can. Okay, we pulled a little extra. Didn't think we meant to. Yeah. Don't think we meant to. Oh yeah, we definitely didn't mean to pull those guys. It's okay, we can Kingsbane some of them. I got 2 stacks of poison on me, which is not ideal. Doesn't feel good. But we got a Evoker. And we got kidney shots. We got kidney shots and kidney beans. Ah! I like keep stitching. We got I can't blind those. I can't even blind them. I usually use like an actual enemy to blind off of it. They can't figure out the demo damage, just make him tanky, be happy. At least make him playable. I went Destro, that's what happened. Don't blame him. Don't blame him. Not one bit. I like the Broke Subterfuge. Just feel like the Broke Subterfuge. I feel like it should normally be granting me like stealth for a second. Okay, I can't really hit too many of these things. Okay, nice. I didn't get 2 of them. That means the boss is doing 20% more haste. Okay. That's not great. Mind Link. Got away from that. Like, I really don't like how close I have to be to even hit him while not to get, trying not to get sucked in. Honestly, the warrior is probably the best target to get focused on because you could just nuke those ads within seconds. Okay, I think I'm just literally gonna have to AFK until I have my full mark and everything available. Essentially, I don't really have the energy for anything. Oh, not good. Not great. Ooh, you gotta run away. You gotta split. Feel like a banana split. Oh man, we're so close too. We're so close to timing this too. I don't even look at the timer anymore. Does the beam not do anything? That it does not do anything anymore? We're so close too, man. So close. Look at that splatter damage though. Envenom damage. I'm mostly envenoming. Yeah, it's definitely a little busted right now. GG's. GG's. Wait, is he bugged? Can he not do it? Wow, he can't use his steward spec at all. Sorry for bugs, Lock. I know it wasn't that fun. Yeah, man. Poor guy. Poor guy. New Shadowpriest buffs came out? Did they actually? Hold on a second. Hold on a moment. Alright. We're gonna take a... Wait. That's not tuning. That's not a blue post. Okay, hold on. So that's another data mining, but not a blue post. Is this the new stuff? Tuning, more within beta, Shadowpriest buffs. So Cenarius, I don't know what they did. Might is a little bit less good. Oh, Mindflay buffed up though. Whoa. Mindflay buffed up. Hold on. The rest of this also got buffed, I think, didn't it? Removed value? So they removed something with this. I don't know what that does. Spike does got a buff damage. Okay, Insanity 4. Oh, that's actually really cool that it accumulated 4 charges. Yeah, that got buffed up. Okay, so like one ability got buffed. Yeah, Kidney Shot is a 30-second cooldown now. Wow, that sucks. Agony buffed up a little. So we don't have like an official blue post, but yeah, it looks like Shadowpriest got buffed up. Weird. Putting Subrog from no, but might switch to Outlaw, I think. Outlaw once other game fully comes out. It's can't even type, Jesus. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna bail. Neat. Yeah, with that being said, I'll have to see how Demon gets the healing from demons or something, or make implosion heal for each him sacrifice. Like a passive implosion, like passive heal. Yeah, that'd be kind of nice. Yeah, this guy was not getting his like hero spec stuff to work at all. That's unfortunate. So he was missing out on a lot of that raw damage. I feel like the dungeon would have probably won by so much faster if like he was able to actually use his abilities and all that, but that's unfortunate, man. That's unfortunate. The warrior was playing, looks like Slayer, right? Yeah, Slayer. The Blastones were doing a decent bit of damage here and there. We were definitely doing a lot of damage, but like we're a little cheesing. We're a little cheesy boy. Unless that's for some reason intended. We're a little cheesy boy right now. And yeah. Alrighty, so we didn't get a proper blue post. We got a bunch of like hotfixes and stuff. It looks like they're buffing a bunch of classes. But we'll see what the entirety of the buffs are going to be once they hotfix them in, I guess. I'll probably have a video on some of the more important big things to talk about tomorrow. That'll talk about rogues, boys. But yeah, Shadow Priest, nope, it does look like they're buffing like the baseline abilities. I think it makes the Archon Shadow Priest in particular even better because there's like an Archon big Flay build, and the damage of Flay was doing pretty good damage prior. So now I think you may end up playing more into the Flay ability, or at least if anything, emphasizing your filler ability, whether it's Spike or Flay. Because if you can get the Insanity procs of it, and the fact that it can stack up to 4, I think you can actually have a really big burst window as a Shadow Priest now. That is very, very interesting, because I think in PvP, like if you can get 4 of those back to back, you could drain somebody dry in like maybe 3 casts, or 3 full channels rather. What's up, Patrol Harvester would be a healing spec. Sounds like a lifesteal. Dude, I think they did Warlocks, like they did like a Necromancer healer spec. I feel like what you're describing right now, this whole stealing, lifesteal thing and redistributing it amongst allies. I feel like if they ever did Necromancer, it should have a healing spec where they like steal life from bosses and turn it into essence and they like redistribute it to everybody else. Kind of like a disc priest, right? You do damage to shatter parts of the boss's soul or something, and then use that to heal. Something along those lines I think would be really cool. But yeah, boys, with that being said, it is like 8. I don't have a raid tonight or anything, but I do want to get some work done. I'm gonna wait for these blue post stuff. Otherwise, I'll probably talk about rogues and how assassinations kinda interesting right now. But yeah, thank you all. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Tomorrow is a day off for me. It is Thursday. I'll be chilling. Or like healing spec with the fell. I was thinking more like a Necromancer. But like I guess a Warlock, like I'm sure if they wanted to make a Warlock a healing, give him like a healing spec and use fell as a resource one way or another, I'm sure they could if they wanted to. But I was thinking from like a Necromancer perspective of like, yeah, that's where my head went initially. But like a Necromancer, its own thing, not like a Necromancer subspec of Warlock, but like its own class Necromancer kind of deal. Gul'dan kind of healed Thrall, but it doesn't suit. Yeah, Warlocks. I mean, Gul'dan healed. He healed the Orc tribes with Manoros Mountain Dew. He healed them just backwards. You know what I mean? Warlocks heal just backwards, right? They're really good at healing their foes in the worst ways possible. Yeah, one day, dude, the day Warlocks actually become, I don't think Warlock could be a healer class. I don't think so. I would like a Necromancer healer class, but like, yeah, Warlock, I don't really know. Heal them with a Mountain Dew and Red Bull. Yeah. Not so much full healer, but like a tank self-healing thing. Oh, I think it would be cool. Yeah, because Warlocks did have some healing for a bit there. Yeah, like a Warlocks, like Mr. Pandaria Warlocks, or like WoW Warlocks. They had like a glyph that let him tank, or be like a sort of kind of a tank. Like you got tankier, you got a taunt. You changed some of your abilities from like a caster melee, but it was never like fully invested into as a build. It was like a little fun gimmick you could do just for funsies, but it wasn't like in. Some people did try apparently to tank as a Warlocks back in the day. I think some guilds were successful at it, but I don't think like Warlock tanks were like ever a prior tank thing. Like if you just wanted to do it for funsies, you could, but it wasn't like anything anybody did seriously. I do know that Warlocks did apparently run around as tanks and like RBGs if you needed like a flag carrier, because they had this leap ability and you could leap out and you were relatively tanky. And you're pretty good against rogues because you could do the Hellfire channel. That's kind of like a consecration that just keeps reapplying itself over and over and moves with you. So that was pretty cool. I think when they did tank mode, they didn't have to take health and damage to use it. They just got to use that on cooldown. I'm pretty sure. I might be like... I'm trying to draw from memory, but Mr. Pandaria was so long ago now. You're dismissed now? Alrighty. Thank you. You guys are wonderful, beautiful. Have a wonderful evening. I'll catch you guys all Friday for them 5-1 duels. I think over in the EU for the pre-patch. And I think Saturday we'll go back to the beta to see how that goes. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I'll see all of you in our next stream. Tomorrow I'm just gonna have a day off. I'm probably just gonna prop up my foot. Apparently tomorrow I'm supposed to be getting hit by like really bad storms that may knock out power. It's like not quite hurricane season, but it's like getting there. So yeah, hopefully my house won't be blown away by tomorrow or by Friday. But we'll know. in a handful of days. Alrighty. You guys have a good one. Is this a new build? This is a new build, but like we don't have a blue post with a full list of the build. We just have data mining stuff, so we don't really know exactly what's in it. We're discovering it little by little, but hopefully they'll have a proper blue post here in a bit. Anyways, I'll catch all of you guys next time. Alrighty, boys? Alrighty, peace.
And you were left with nothing. Did you question God or did you see it coming? Come on. And I didn't know if I would see you again. Oh, did I lose you? I think I might have lost you. But when it all burned down and you were left with nothing, did you question God or did you see it coming? Come on. Oh, come on.